Injured in an accident? You may be entitled to a bigger settlement, up to 3.5 times bigger. Your initial consultation is 100% free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. No matter the accident, we are here to help. The advocates will fight for you because you deserve clarity, you deserve justice, you deserve guidance, you deserve an advocate. Contact us today.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on this here very YouTube channel. Live on Twitter. Hey, everybody. How about Jake actually picking up followers on the old X machine that used to be called Twitter that Elon destroyed? How about our boy Jake? Like, they dropped finally, Jake, huh?
Just working on it, you know. Maybe one day I'll be Twitter famous.
Buddy. You're not. You're ugly. The Monty Show is always presented by You show up here every day just to get abused. Presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. And the best part is it never costs you a dime. You never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. And trust me when I tell you, one of the best parts about working with the advocates is if you don't have a case, they're going to straight up tell you, hey, you know what, Jake? You fell out of the womb and hit every branch on the way down. That was no accident, sir. You're just ugly.
Which I did.
Right? Yeah, you did. So, you know, my point is the advocates know how to win. And when they take your case, they're going to win. That's why they give you clear, risk-free advice. That's why it costs you nothing out of pocket. Get them 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Okay, so Jake and I were having a throwdown about Diego Pavia's mom before the show started. Now, I think we all know Diego Pavia is an interesting cat, right? So, first of all, Diego Pavia begging Donnie for help with the CFP.
Now, write an executive order, Donnie, please save us. Brown
so do you hate that, Jake, or
just
what
stop.
Is it
just shut your mouth on politics and play football? How about that? Is it that hard to be a football player in today's world? Can we not just speak on your team? You know, speak on your party going mother. You know, speak on your Heisman candidacy.
Whoa! Leave this out of his Okay, leave his mother out of. Why do you hate his mom so much? Is it because Theo Vaughn wants to plant a garden?
She is so over the top, bro, with everything. Like, bro, I get it. You're Diego Pavia's mom. That's neat and everything. Great, dude. That doesn't mean you should be
everything.
That doesn't mean you should be grinding on, polls at football games and like. I just get tired of I just get burned out. Like, what are you doing right here? What the hell are you doing right here? By the way, you might want to put some pants on, dude. Just pointing it out, dude.
Look at the lady next to her, like showing the whole world.
Like, come on, bro.
It's not Pavia's. You're such a red ass
like,
about.
Come on, dude.
Like, I need to understand this out of you. Like, help me understand.
Like, homegirl's like 50 years old, dressing half naked at football games. Like, grow up, dude.
She's hot. It's called being hot. Like, why do you have such a problem with this? I've never understood. You did the same thing. And I'll take this off for a moment. You did the exact same thing with Zach Wilson's crazy mom, right? You hated that Zach Wilson's mom was all up in front, and you hated that she was. Like, you're just not a fan of his mom.
I'm not a fan of mom getting involved or dad getting involved, from the stands and drawing all the attention to themselves. I'm not a fan of that, dude. Like, this isn't about you. This is about your kid. Like sit in the stands, support your kid, and let Diego have the stage, not you. Like, and this is what we do as a society, right? We're going to celebrate this type of behavior, and we're going to say, oh, she's hot, and man, I would love to bang her, and wow, she's amazing. Like, no, actually, I wouldn't, dude. Like, nope.
Dude,
See?
dude,
That
she's
looks like a
running.
mop.
She's running. She's running laps around Zachy Poo's mom.
I'm sure she is.
Bro, do you disagree?
No?
So you do disagree?
No, I don't disagree, but it's different. Like Diego Pavia's mom doesn't strike me as insane. She strikes me as a Wilson's mom is certifiably insane and is like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with that, bro. Like some of the stuff she said and like some of the stuff she did and like
yes. No.
Like I don't need I don't need that in my life, dude.
She strikes me as crazy.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life, dude. Yeah.
You
no.
are, bro.
Mm-mm.
You're that.
Stupid ass question.
Like, nah, dude. Nope.
Don't you, as a guy, want crazy though?
That's the bottom line.
Right? I'm not trying to be a red ass about it, but Zach Wilson's mom, I agree. Zach Wilson's mom is a whole different basket of fruit. I totally agree. But
dude,
this right here is just a whole lot of fun. She's a house of fun. Right? Like, look at this dude. And thankfully, right? You don't even have to worry about, like, look at this dude behind her, just completely creepy. And then there's Jake who's like, no, this puppy vest means I can't do the crazy thing.
I'm not here for the crazy thing, dude. I mean, listen, you want to be a TikTok star and knock yourself out, bro. That does not mean you need to be grinding on the pole, dude. That's not, I don't. Yeah.
What is this account now?
Stadium Gal Dana. What did you make another burner, dude?
No. D-Rock, it's an all about me world out there. I agree with Jake. Plenty of insecure people who want all the attention. Hey, listen. Yeah, okay. She's the kind of cougar that takes half your house of fun.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's true, dude. That's true. That is absolutely positively true.
Yes, the hot crazy matrix. So you're telling me then, because she's Pavia, you're not pounding Pavia. That's just
no.
Okay.
Nope.
I can't help you. What is wrong with you? Like, that is this year's college football mom of the year goes to Pavia mom. Yes. And they say conservatives want to live in a Handmaid's Tale world. Could very well be. Chewy, guys. Hey, guys.
Guys.
Jake has morals for Pavia's mom. Exactly. Listen, ma'am, could you cover those things up? It makes me uncomfortable.
No, look, we didn't plan for this to be an educational portion of the program, but I thought that this would be really helpful for people here. This chart right here. This is the crazy versus hot chart right here. Okay. So the more you F around, the more you find out, right? So the hotter she is, and again, let's review. The hotter she is,
right?
The crazier you get, right?
Yes.
Like, that's the hard part, dude. I'm not here for crazy lady who thinks it's okay to wear a cowboy hat in no pants and grind on a handrail that's been touched by like 1 million people, dude. Nah, I'm okay, bro. I'm okay, dude.
Why do you have to phrase it like that?
Because it's nasty business, dude. It's nasty. Bro, if she's doing that at a football game, what's she doing, in other places? I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I am of the opinion that, that was too far. I feel like you are a habitual line stepper. No, I think So where does she go? So do you think where is she on the crazy scale?
She is certifiably in the no-go zone at like a 10.
What? No, she's
Yeah.
not.
Okay,
Zach
at a
Wilson's
minimum, she's in the danger zone. At a minimum.
I think she's probably like a 7 on the hot zone.
Mm-hmm.
And she's probably somewhere like a 4 or a 5 on the crazy zone.
That's the untrained eye.
No, that's like a 7 or 8 at least on the crazy zone, dude.
Okay. So she is in the danger zone. What about Zachy Poo's mom? Because she's got to be like a 10.
This is a totally different thing. I mean, she's in the no-go zone. Bro, she's in the no-go zone simply because she is crazy, bro. And we are not the only ones saying that. I think that's pretty well documented.
Jake, he's talking about you.
Whatever, dude. Call me a hater. I'm not the guy that's making a mistake like that, bro. I can tell you that right now.
I kind of feel like you are making a mistake like that.
No.
I kind of feel like, I kind of feel like you are. You know.
Boom. Out of here.
Mommy issues. That Jeremiah champion. You know.
Yeah.
Rick Neuheisel would have loved recruiting Pavia. I'm sure he would have.
Family.
Joey Harper. Diddy can be the next coach at Happy Valley. He could go from one Penn State to another Penn State. See,
Did you guys hear that the Diddy Netflix documentary has received a cease and desist? That Netflix has been told they cannot air that because allegedly they have used illegally obtained footage, and Netflix is saying that they have obtained all the footage legally and have the documentation to back it up.
Okay.
There's a lot of drama around it, apparently.
No kidding. Mike Chase says, run the other way fast.
That's right? Thank you.
LOL, negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. Okay, I will agree.
Macaque.
She's going to need a shower before we start gardening. Because I would agree the handrail feels excessive.
Honestly, I'd start stroking, guys.
Okay.
A lot.
The handrail feels excessive.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
You know. So, Jay, does the hot ever trump crazy? Yeah, it does.
Pretty rarely, dude.
Yeah,
pretty rarely.
Yeah, no.
I think I've hit it every time.
God, you're terrible. Like, for a guy who's like, I hate the way you treat women.
I'm not giving away half my house. I can tell you that right now.
Nobody wants to get married. We just
right,
want can we just play a game? How about just the tip? Like, can we?
Dude, but see, the problem is you have too much faith in homies.
Like, I want wedding crashers. I don't want like, what's that?
Erroneous on both counts.
It is like, I don't want relationship. I'm not here for handrail lady for like a long-term relationship.
Perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip.
Thank you. I want the meatloaf. That's it. And then I'm leaving.
Aggressive.
Yeah, no dessert. Right? Like, I'm out. I'm leaving. Listen.
Ass.
We're going to have cocktails. Well, you're going to have cocktails, and I'm going to have the main course, and then I'm going to leave. And your loneliness will be your dessert, and that'll be that.
F around and find out.
Touchdown, Jesus. I'm out.
Dude, yeah. See, here's the problem with that, though. See, you go in and out on that, and then you get a call a couple months later about how homegirl has a mini-me cooking. You know, then she's
like 68. Who cares?
It's her own question.
It doesn't matter how old she is, bro.
It's broken. She ain't cooking no biscuits.
I don't know, dude.
The lie detector test determined that was.
I don't know, bro. If she's still got that much energy, I have some doubts, dude.
Did you not go to health class? You have no idea how eggs and fallopian tubes work.
I don't know if.
I mean, dude,
I don't quite
help
me. To be honest.
It's not help me. Somebody reach into the screen and tell him fallopian tubes don't last forever, brah.
He's a hoe.
They don't. Anyway.
No, I'm not taking a flyer, dude. I'm not doing it, bro.
I am. Test flight? Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess that's with all due respect to you, I guess that's why I'm here. That is the fundamental difference between us. You're gonna take the flyer, I'm not, and we'll see how it works out. And
do you view this season as a failure?
Chicago Blackhawk hockey, right here on the Monty Show.
Right? Yeah. What's the difference? Help me understand. What's the difference between Chicago Blackhawk hockey and Vanderbilt Commodores football?
The prunes are dried up. That's the difference.
The dynasty is not over.
Right?
Okay,
I don't
bro.
have to worry about it.
If you believe that, all right.
Oh, look, Oak State James, who's now a TCU fan. Diego's mom has got it going on. Like, see, he's trying to make a song.
Doesn't that instantly mean she doesn't have it going on?
Pretty much, yeah. She's probably done now. We need some Monty beads. I think you do. You need my advice. I know the chick game.
Kiss my butt.
What's the movie? Why can I not think of that love movie? Love Actually, or
The Notebook?
Heartbreaking. The Notebook. The Notebook. You're a guy who's like, oh man, I don't want to have sex, Diego's mom. Let's just get The Notebook on Netflix and we'll spend some time together. Good conversation there. I'm more like, hey, we don't need the TV on. Let's just do this because, I got to get up in the morning. So, bing, bing, bam, boom, I'm out. She has a CFP pedigree. You would love that kid once he hits the portal.
Macaque.
Apparently, dude.
Oh, Cam Harrison. Hello. Jake is Morty's brain. 50 first dates. Yes. I was telling Jake before the show that it is soup season now. Jake just wants to get Netflix going with The Notebook. And Jake just wants a bowl of... Jake's a pasta vajol guy.
I think I've hit it every time.
Jake just wants a bowl of vajol, some Notebook, and they're just going to talk. She's going to sit in the recliner. Jake will be on the couch. Once he's done with his soup, he's going to start playing Battlefield, and she's going to leave.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
Bro.
All right, we'll see you later.
Dude, come on. That's a little rough, bro.
Why don't you love me? You're fat and old. Sorry, sweetheart.
You just have to start stroking guys.
50 Shades of Jake. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that movie. Yeah. But I just didn't understand. I don't think there's any doubt. If you're a guy, and it makes me wonder, but if you're a guy, yeah. Yes.
Venice Parade.
Yes.
Venice Parade.
Yeah. No. Crazy. No. I'd rather have fun than crazy, I guess is all I'm saying.
Yeah. We all would, but I'm just, yeah. All right. I mean, I know we can go around it for hours. I know.
But you wouldn't. Though you said you anyway.
Diego Pavia's mom has crazy in her. Again, for the final time. Again, she's not in the no-go zone, I guess, if we're being nice, because the hotness factor is above a 5. So she would be in the danger zone, right? She's in the danger zone, not the no-go zone. So I'm just saying, something to be careful with.
Yes. Yes, it does. And those of us that are not risk averse, we understand.
You bought it.
We understand how to avoid the crocodiles in the river, if you will. It's a bad analogy, but my point is, crazy can be good. The problem it's sensitive guys like Jake. You park the car in the garage and now you're in love, and
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
Yeah, Kurt, Jake's side story. Jake falls in love every time.
Seems like a great opportunity to slurp and splash.
Exactly. 7 a.m. when the makeup's off. Oof. Yeah, I'm not going to be there. See, that's the difference. I'm not the 7 a.m. guy. I'm the 8 to 8:15 guy. And usually it's 8 to 8:04 guy. And then I'm out.
Dude,
30 seconds
I
of
just
greatness.
can't get down. You guys are all you guys are all under the assumption that homegirl doesn't have like a bunch of bugs and a bunch of nasty ass stuff going on, dude.
No,
I'm not
it doesn't
buying
matter, dude.
that, dude.
When
Here's
I
the
play
difference.
football,
I'm not
when I play
betting
football-
homegirl down. I'm not betting homegirl
No.
down sheerly out of yeah, I would like to be alive and 100% intact tomorrow.
Right, but Jake,
I'm not taking
the
the chance.
No, man. Listen, when I play football, I wear pads. I got protection. I'm
What
not
are you,
worried
Drake
about it.
May,
All I
dude?
want- no, man. I just want to strap it on and run the 2-minute drill, and then I'm heading for the locker room. I'm out. See you, bitches.
Yeah, but
I'm done.
here's the problem. Here's the problem. Life's gonna Jackson out your ass. You're running at the sideline.
No,
Everything's
he's
good. You
not.
got the first down,
No.
and then all of a sudden you start getting a little itch or a little rash, and it just is like, bam, dude.
You.
No.
Because
See, that hasn't happened to me.
Just so you can go to Pound Town.
You're a coward. Wish you were me for true words have never been spoken. Walk out of her room and Pavia can call me daddy. Exactly. Daddy? Is mommy heading to New York City? Probably. Lanny Smith, why do you guys just designate that you're a BYU podcast?
Bro, we haven't even mentioned, dude. We've been talking about Diego Pavia's dumpster ass mom for 20 minutes now, and you come in here and comment that we're a BYU show, bro. Come on, dude. I mean, we haven't even mentioned Lanny, whatever the hell Lanny Smith QM3QV. Nice name, first of all. Second of all, like, okay, if we're a BYU show, what have we gotten wrong? And why is that a bad thing if we're talking about BYU? Help me understand. Educate me.
We did talk about Zach Wilson's mom.
We did.
To be the ombudsman of the show.
Right.
You know, it's fine. Now you brought up the former BYU quarterbacks. We did, which is fine.
So you have no frame of reference here, Donnie.
This is photoshopped because come on. Look at all those lines. Like, you know, it is what it is. I don't care. Actually, yeah. Let's get into a little BYU because on 3, I used to really respect Brett McMurphy at ESPN. When he was at Action Network, I actually thought Brett McMurphy was pretty good at his job. So Brett McMurphy pissed a whole bunch of people off when he put out this list of freshmen of the year. Okay, Dejoun Lee, earned. Malachi Toney, absolutely. North Texas quarterback Drew Mestamaker. Interesting. Okay, a CJ Carr, absolutely. Ohio State sophomore Julian Sayin, that feels broke. No Bear Bachmeier on this list, though. That's interesting.
It's your own question.
Wonder why that is. Oh, that's right, because Brett McMurphy's not very good at football. And I've been a big critic of Bears. But you would be hard-pressed to argue that BYU quarterback Bear Bachmeier is not one of the best freshman football players in the country. And if you put him on a list of the best freshman quarterback in the country, he's probably second. And it depends on how you look at Julian Sayin. And he's probably, if Sayin's on the list, he's probably third. Right? I mean, CJ Carr at this point is probably the best true freshman quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that this list is bad. If we're just talking about the best freshman football players in the country, and it's the top 5, I don't think Julian Sayin should be on this list. I think that's probably the most controversial part of this, other than the fact that he is a sophomore, right? So it makes it kind of hard to put him on a freshman list. But Bear Bachmeier should be on this list. Is there any question about that? Like,
no. The tweet should say, freshman of the year finalist, east of the Wasatch Mountains, because I just don't know how you justify not having him on the list. Like, I have my gripes with Bear. We certainly view him differently if we're talking X's and O's and, talent level, what he can do on the field. Like we have those disagreements, but I agree completely 100% that it's going to be really hard to make a strong case as to why the guy shouldn't be on this list. And I think this Julian Sayin thing is valid. Like, I don't think the guy should be on the list. You're not a freshman, dude. Like, you're not a true freshman.
100%.
You had a year to know the playbook. You had a year to practice. You had a year to be around the program. You had a year to do everything except play on the field. Like, does it not matter that the guys had a year to be in the program and developing and doing it? Like, Bear's done this in year one, bro. Like, I guess I just don't understand why we do this. And
why is Arch Manning on the list?
Yeah, because he's not a freshman.
Right. And I understand that it's his first full year starting, but that doesn't mean he's a freshman.
Yeah.
I think the reality is, and here's where Jimmy, the kid guy who said we're a BYU show, here's where that might come through. This continues the narrative that BYU doesn't get the respect they've earned. And I think that is painfully obvious when we talk about, the CFP, and you have BYU at 11. They're 11-1. Their one loss is to the 4th team in the country, and they're going to get left out of the college football playoff. Right? I mean, that's the reality of it. And you continue to see this stuff. Like, I look at this whole thing with, the Robert Griffin III thing this morning that kind of blew up on my Twitter timeline. You get this asshat John Root saying Mormonism's not Christianity. Well, what does that got to do with BYU football? You somehow, Robert Griffin III's making an argument that BYU's being discriminated against because they're a Christian university and a religious institution. And this cat's like, well, Mormonism's not Christianity, which is ridiculous. It's called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Like, this is what we do to BYU.
Y'all are all celebrating the same dude and putting different labels on it. Like, it's incredible to me.
And I don't know how you fix this if you're BYU. You're 11-1. And your only loss is to Texas Tech. You've beaten everybody that's been put in front of you. And I think if you're BYU, the argument should be, well, how the hell do we raise the bar of competition in the Big 12? Because that's what's killing you. But the idea that Bear Bachmeier is not one of the best freshman football players in the country when he's the starting quarterback, I get it. He's only thrown for 2,500 yards. Totally understand that. Diego Pavia is up for the Heisman Trophy. He plays at Vanderbilt. Right? It's akin to, well, it's only BYU. Well, it's only Vanderbilt, and BYU's a better team than Vanderbilt is, and they're going to get left out of the CFP. And Bear Bachmeier's not on a list of the best freshman football players in the country. How is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best stat that defends BYU is they're the first team ever to be 11-1, not in the top 10,
and be left out.
And be left out. And I think that stat is pretty damning as far as the committee is concerned. Now, I will say that the core issue here to me is all of our understanding about what the committee has to take into consideration. Like, what are the things that have to be considered versus what are the things that are inevitably considered? Because all the paperwork side, as I call it, like who you played and the strength of their schedule and, like what conference you're in and who your quarterback is and like all those little things about your team that kind of all play into the formula. I don't even think any of that is what hurts BYU. But What hurts BYU is that you lost the only game that anyone cared about on your schedule, which again shouldn't matter, but it does. And then you're also a Mountain Time Zone team, which isn't helping you as far as all the writers and everything else is concerned. So I sit here and say, like, if you look at the Brett McMurphy tweet, notice no West Coast kid is on there. What West Coast kid is on there?
None.
Oh, that's right. There isn't one, right? Like, what? You can see it in every portion of the sport. You see it in the AP. You see it in the CFP rankings. You see it with Writer Guy. You see it with Soccer Dude. Like, all these guys, all they do is they watch the game that's convenient for them. They watch the primetime game that's East Coast time. They go to bed for the Pacific time zone games. They go to bed for the Mountain time zone game. They don't watch the games.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to sit here and be the one that says, yeah, I don't think that BYU is nearly as good as Texas Tech. And there's a myriad of reasons for that. And that will play itself out on Saturday, in my opinion.
I was just going to say, we're going to find out.
Yeah, we're definitely going to find out. But this is my issue with this conversation. If you're a BYU fan, you want it to be decided on the field. Is that not what you have taking place right now? Is that not what's before you? Because everyone's saying, well, it should be on the field. It should be on the field. Well, is that not what we have? And I get it. You should already be in. But you can't have it both ways.
You can't have it both ways.
And at some point, you got to accept the fact that, yeah, sure. Are you better than Vanderbilt? Sure, but Vanderbilt's in the SEC. Vanderbilt gets seen a hell of a lot more than you get seen, even with your ESPN deal, man. Like, you got to know who you are, and know where you're going. Like, you've gotten further this year now. You're going to the Big 12 championship game. Obviously, you're going to get another chance to beat Texas Tech. But when you lose that game, I don't want to hear, well, we're a victim of the CFP. We're not. No. You either have to go undefeated or you need to be the Big 12 champion. Which would you like it to be? Do you want to go undefeated or you want to be the Big 12 champion or both? If you do that, you're in the CFP. There's no questions asked. And that's why I say all of this noise, this whole Dave Portnoy nonsense we're going to talk about in a minute. Dude, the Dave Portnoy bandwagonism is cancerous, in my opinion, for the BYU community. The excuses, the whole thing. Go win the football. If you're such a good team, if you are so deserving, go show everybody. That's my main point with BYU, right? Go show everybody. Shut everybody up. That's all you can do.
I don't understand how do you describe the Portnoy? I don't understand the Portnoy thing and why BYU fan. And I think this is really, really interesting. Dave Portnoy is not, how do I politely say this? Dave Portnoy is not a good human being. I don't even think that's arguable. I think you go look at the history of Dave Portnoy and you quickly figure out that his past is, shall we say, checkered and colorful. Yet BYU fan is all in on Dave Portnoy and the love that Dave Portnoy all of a sudden has for BYU and the Bear Bachmeier jersey and all the time that Fox has spent around BYU now. And BYU fans are just eating the Dave Portnoy meat up.
I got to do this final rant. Everybody's been talking about BYU since the rankings came out, the committee. They are absolutely, undeniably getting screwed. One of the biggest screw jobs in the history of this stupid committee. And here's my problem. I'm sick of the debate. I'm sick of people trying to make cases for Notre Dame versus BYU or Miami. There is no debate. By every single metric known to mankind, BYU should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame. It shouldn't matter if BYU wins or loses the Big 12 championship. Saying they can play their way in is irrelevant. They're getting held to a different standard than every team in the history of this thing. No team in 30 years in the BYU and the Big 12 has had one loss and been outside the top 10. It's ridiculous. They played a better schedule than Notre Dame. They have 2 better wins than Notre Dame. They have half as many losses as Notre Dame. Notre Dame doesn't have one good win on their entire schedule. It's a joke, so don't debate it. My biggest issue about this is the committee pissing on my face pissing on my head as Provo Dave and telling me it's raining. Don't try to justify it. Just be like, you know what? BYU, we don't care about you. We don't care about the Big 12. Bye-bye. This isn't a resume. This isn't who has the better season. This is just what makes the most money, who has the most local recognition. It has nothing to do with what you're doing on the field.
I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. I've said just about all of that right here on our BYU show. I've said all of that. But the crazy part is he's not a guy that fits into BYU culture at all. Right. And it is amazing to me that you have that and people BYU people are lapping it up. Does it matter his checkered past?
Apparently it doesn't. No.
Apparently it doesn't.
But this notion, though, and this is important that we vet this out, because everyone, you know, I see all these comments about, well, Notre Dame's got 2 losses and BYU is analytically better than Notre Dame. Yeah, here's the problem. Here's the inconvenient truth. BYU doesn't have a sniff of credibility versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame's been in the CFP. Notre Dame was in the national championship game. Notre Dame's got credibility. Everybody and their mom. Yeah, of course it matters. Should it matter or not matter? I don't care if it should or shouldn't. It does. It absolutely does. You put the graphic on the screen and you tell me, hey, what are the brands that are more recognizable than others? If someone put BYU versus Ole Miss, no one's taking BYU in that game. I don't care where the game's played. I'm not taking BYU in that game. Ole Miss is a better football team. Like, why is it that some of these SEC teams are ranked higher than BYU, even though they have a weaker schedule, maybe, or even though the strength of record's worse, or, you know, you can find an analytic in BYU's favor?
I still think I can make an argument that BYU's got a better resume than Oregon does.
Okay, great example. Nobody in their right mind would pick BYU to beat Oregon on any football field.
No, they would not. No, they would not. And I think I can make an argument that BYU's got a better resume than Texas A&M. I think I can make an argument that I certainly make the argument BYU's got a better resume than Notre Dame. And I'm a Notre Dame fan. Mm-hmm. And I think BYU's got a better resume than Notre Dame. I personally believe that U.S. Americans won't put BYU into the college football playoff because I think they don't know who BYU is.
U.S. Americans.
They don't know the football team. Yeah. U.S. Americans don't know how good BYU is because they don't watch BYU games. And I think one of the only things I agree with you on is that BYU being in the Mountain Time Zone really hurts them. And BYU not being in the SEC takes the benefit of the doubt away from them. Bear Bachmeier not being prepared to play this year hurts them. Bear Bachmeier looking really, really terrible against Texas Tech, which is the one game that most people saw clearly is really hurting BYU. It's really hurting them because notice nobody's talking about Barrett Morton, who was not good in the BYU game. Nobody's even talking about that.
Nope.
And I think part of the issue is that BYU is in a league where there are very few, if any, quality opponents. That's a harsh reality. Even Utah, that's a very difficult axe to grind now. Mm-hmm. Because you've lost 2 games. You lost to the 2 best teams you saw. See, it's convenient when it's BYU who beat Utah to hold Utah down because they lost to BYU. But Utah's not a quality win, so we're going to hold BYU down. I don't think it maths very much. I also don't necessarily believe that there's a way to fix it. I've said several times, I think if we're going to do this on the field, we need to take opinion out of it. That's really how you fix this. Mm-hmm. If there is a fix, and I'm here to tell you I don't believe there's a fix, you have to take conjecture and opinion out of it. But the issue is that we continue to run into this thing where there's no way to get everybody on the same page unless you put in a system where you have conferences, divisions, That's the only way. But you can't sit here like I'll die on this hill about Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a better football team today than Miami is. You know what the problem is? They played in week 1, and everybody wants to say that Miami's a better football team than Notre Dame because they played in week 1. Well, how about they play this Saturday? How about they play this Saturday and we don't have to argue about this anymore? And I can say that how many times on this show that if you really want to put this to bed, I don't know why we have no other games but conference championship games this weekend.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And you know, the point about like, hey, well, how do you fix this? I'm not so sure that it needs fixing at this time.
No, neither do I.
I really will agree. And I understand why it's upsetting to BYU fan. I completely get it, guys, but you can't run from the fact that your season is in your hands. Like, nobody has removed you from the CFP. Nobody has said you can't get in.
BYU shouldn't have to win this game to get in. BYU should be in. BYU, because again, I'm just going to continue to say their resume is better than Oregon. Their resume is better than Notre Dame. So they should at a minimum be ninth. At a minimum, they should be ninth. BYU shouldn't have to win the conference championship to get into the college football playoff. It's bullshit. They shouldn't have to do that. Nobody else has to do what what BYU is doing. Nobody else. And if you're Notre Dame, you're getting a free pass for being a pretty mediocre team this year. We are a mediocre team this year. Right? But that's my point about Texas. I think Texas is a pretty mediocre team this year. I think Miami's a pretty mediocre team this year. I think Notre Dame's a mediocre team this year. What do those three teams have in common? They did not handle business on the field of play. Period. If you want no questions, give them all the answers.
And why is it? Why, like the Oregon point as an example, or any of these other teams you want to look at, like resume wise, because I completely agree. Well, why is it that Oregon doesn't have to win the Big Ten and is 5th? Oh, I know why it is. Because they beat teams that are better than BYU, that everyone universally agrees are better than BYU. They have those wins. The Penn State win at that time was one of the best wins of the season of anybody's team. So they've been able to say, hey, well, we beat this team, right? Where we did this. And then, yes, did they have an awful outing against Indiana? Absolutely. Yes, they did. But I will maintain that, dude, look at the graphic. Strength of schedule, head-to-head competition, other relevant factors. What would other relevant factors be? Well, other relevant factors would be
injuries.
The injuries.
Lane went to LSU.
Lane went to LSU. I also maintain that other relevant factors would be the reputation of your conference, the reputation of all these crappy ass programs that you play in the Big 12. Like, and again, it's this whole deal where you want to be gifted in. You want to say, hey, we deserve to be in at 11-1, but you don't really have the accountability to say, well, look, nobody views us the way they view Oregon, or the way they view A&M, or the way, again, they view Notre Dame. And I get it. That's inconvenient. Nobody wants to talk about that, but that's the issue. You know how you fix this, BYU fan? You go out and beat Tech on Saturday. You go win a game against a nationally relevant program in the CFP. And then next year you win the Big 12 and you do it again. That's your biggest issue, is you're not a consistent player in the CFP, so you don't have the recognition. Like, I get it. It sucks. I don't want to be saying that, but it is the truth. It's absolutely true that you don't have enough credibility with people nationally to get the benefit of the doubt. You do not get the benefit of the doubt. So that's why you're here.
Yeah, we're probably saying the same thing. It is really frustrating to me.
But as far as Dave is concerned, this whole bandwagon thing where people want to Provo Dave, and Dave's a BYU fan. No, Dave Portnoy is a Michigan fan and a Red Sox fan, and he should stay in those two lanes. And he's only doing this, in my opinion, because he knows how much money is in Provo. He knows what kind of relationships he can get, and he wants to make sure he's on the good side of all those non-Christian Mormons who have crumble cookie money. That's why he's doing this, in my opinion.
I think Dave Portnoy is a phenomenal businessman, brilliant, genius level businessman, no doubt about it. But Dave Portnoy doesn't change the fact that Bear Bachmeier is not getting the respect he deserves. It doesn't change the fact that BYU is not getting the respect they've clearly earned on the field of play. And it's because the rest of this conference, if we're keeping it a quarter, it sucks.
We're keeping the book right now, we ass.
And I'm just telling you, if we're keeping it real, if we're being honest about the Big 12, the Big 12 is hurting BYU. There's just no other way to say it. And the obvious painful answer to that is, well, it's not hurting Texas Tech now, is it? No, it's not. And why is that? Because Texas Tech spent a God-worthy amount of cash and built a football team, built a defense, if we're being honest, right? Romello Height, just studs everywhere. But you look at Bear Bachmeier, Big 12 Freshman of the Year, what is that worth?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And I just think that it's the plight that they are, because if you really get into Bear Bachmeier, I said this all year long, and it infuriated BYU fans. Bear Bachmeier's the ceiling for BYU. He was terrible against Texas Tech. That's why we're having this conversation. This is a different conversation if Sex with a Utah fan is still here, right?
True.
If our guy is still the quarterback, Jake Retzloff, Manischewitz dude is still here, we're not having this conversation because they're undefeated. Because I think they'd beat Texas Tech that day. But they didn't, because he's not. And Bear Bachmeier is. And Bear Bachmeier's the ceiling on this team. And as I said, I've put a lot of time into trying to be accurate about Bear Bachmeier, because you were all like, oh, Monty, you hate BYU.
You're a Utah fan. This is a Utah show. Come on.
And I will continue to say what I've said every day this week. I think that Bear Bachmeier has gotten progressively better, especially since the Tech game. His performance since that beating he took at Texas Tech has been significantly better. His mechanics are not going to get better now. The straight leg thrower, the poor arm slot on a lot of throws, he's just in the wrong arm slot. His feet and his upper body are not matched up. He throws off the wrong foot. He plays hero ball. Like, none of that stuff is going to get fixed right now. And you're okay with that, because when you're a freshman like this and you're developing, you just need time to develop, and that'll happen during the summer. And unfortunately, you don't get that time to then come back and play for a conference championship. I think it will be significantly closer of a game than it was in West Texas. It will be significantly closer. Texas Tech's going to win Saturday, and it's going to hurt for BYU fans. It's going to hurt because you're going to get left out. That is the untimely truth. You're going to get left out. TCU James, Monty's idea is brilliant. The CFP committee should invite 2 non-conference champion game teams and say, if you win, you're guaranteed 2 non-con champ game teams. I don't know what that means.
So
my
you're
point
saying
is,
like the ACC and the Big 12 should play if they're not in the championship games?
I don't know why conference affiliation would even have a place in this discussion. What I'm telling you is, what should happen is you should have the 13th and 14th team and the 15th and 16th team playing for the 12th spot. What it should be, right? Because you're getting the 5 highest ranked conference champions in. Miami and Notre Dame should be playing. This should be rivalry weekend. Miami and Notre Dame should be playing. Like if you want to get down the brass tacks, in my opinion, on this graphic, the top 10 are in. Right? Miami and Notre Dame should be playing for the 11th spot. And I don't care who it is. Texas and Duke, Texas and Virginia should be playing for the 12th spot. Winners are in, losers are out. That's how it should be. Because in my opinion, BYU should be the 10th team in the country. There is no resume or metric that says Notre Dame's better than BYU on paper.
Would you like BYU over Miami if they were playing for that?
If BYU and Miami were...
That's pretty close.
The thing that worries me about BYU in that game is I hate BYU's secondary and zone.
Yeah.
I'd want them to play man and zone underneath and then torture Carson Beck. But BYU should be in. It should be Notre Dame and Miami. And I think, and I know you're all going to say I'm a homer. Okay, fine. Right now, today, Notre Dame is a significantly better team than Miami. Carson Beck has regressed. He has got weapons on top of weapons, and he just is not a guy that can deliver the football.
He's not a killer.
CJ Carr, it's Bear Bachmeier. CJ Carr has developed. Like I was watching his tape in the Miami game. He was a baby giraffe who just popped out. No idea what he was doing. Every week he got better. He cost them the A&M game, there's no doubt. And our defense was ass, terrible. But then CJ Carr, just every week, put in the work every week. You know where he's gotten really good? The underneath ball. He has learned how not to overthrow the underneath ball, and I think it's made a huge difference. And his development, and I'm sure you've all noticed this, we've gotten significantly better at running the ball. But why is that? Because his play action now is actually, they have to respect the play action pass. Because we've begun leveraging the tight end between the hash. And he's become a much better thrower of the football rolling to his right. And so what that's done is it's allowed Notre Dame's offensive line and the running backs to develop motion and flow. And it's just turned Jeremiah loose, man. Like it is, I think Notre Dame is significantly better than they were against Miami. I'm not even sure it's close. Chewy Gonzalez, the solution is simple. 16 teams from 4 conferences, no G5 and no Notre Dame until they join a conference. They should never join a conference, and nor should they have to. They do what your team cannot. And I don't even care who your team is. In this case, Chewy's a Utah fan. BYU, Navy, Army, like you look at all the best independent teams over the last few years, Notre Dame smokes all of them.
It's not even close.
Notre Dame brings people.
See, that sentiment right there. That sentiment right there, in my opinion, is why Notre Dame is where they are on the CFP rankings.
Correct.
Because everyone knows what that program is. They respect it. They know they're capable, and they know they will put on a good game.
Because we haven't earned it. I'm just going to be honest with you. We haven't earned it.
Yeah, losing to Florida losing to Miami is just that ended all credibility. You know, that made it really hard for you to be like, yeah, we deserve to be in. If he'd have won that game, if he'd have made the hit, okay, we're not even having this discussion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's not even close. That's my opinion. I think Notre Dame would probably win by 10 points minimum. Because you're just significantly better up front, and CJ Carr is far, far, far more developed. Original Sammy Sam.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Thank you for the tip. We appreciate that. Wish You Were Me for $2. Going to sting when 2 G5 teams get in and no BYU. Yeah, it's complete BS. I think it's going to be one of the travesties of the world It is, and I won't be upset. Like if you're an ACC fan and you get left out in the cold, who do you have to blame? Duke shouldn't even be in this game, right? I mean, if Duke wins the ACC championship, they're not getting in. You're going to get left out in the cold, as you should.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But the issue is who will be the G5s, who will win that game. Like that's always the conversation. But my feeling is that when you look at this game and you look at the way this is going to play out, I think unless BYU wins this game, it's going to be really difficult for them to get in. Really, and it sucks. It really, really sucks. But I think that's just what it is. Joseph Harper, take 12 teams like normal, and then on a week of Army, Navy, take 13, 16 playoff, play them off to get to 14 all together, and then go to the NFL scale after. You could do that. All I'm saying is this weekend should not be an off week for most of the country.
No, it should not.
Should not be an off week for most of the country. Right? Like it doesn't make sense. You're wasting money here. I need Notre Dame and Miami. This should be revenge weekend. Right? I want those bubble teams to play each other to prove it. You should have to listen. In a perfect world, I think BYU, if we're keeping it a buck, BYU should probably, on resume alone, should be BYU versus Alabama is a really good one. BYU versus Alabama, BYU versus Oklahoma. I think BYU versus Texas Tech is a really interesting. Like, what is Texas? Do we really believe Texas Tech has a better resume than BYU? I'm not ready to die on that hill, kids. I'm not ready to die on that hill. I think if you look at Texas A&M, UTSA, Utah State at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's their best win. Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas, LSU, Missouri, South Carolina, Sanford, Texas. Oh, that's right. They lost to Texas. Is that a better resume than BYU? Okay, BYU. Portland State, Stanford, East Carolina, Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona, Utah, Iowa State, blown out by Texas Tech, TCU, Cincinnati, UCF, and now they play the conference championship game. Texas A&M's got that Notre Dame win, but other than that, I mean, it's really close. It's really close, right? I look at Indiana. Indiana has, and it depends on how you look at Illinois, because they boat raced Illinois. They put up 63 on Illinois was 9th that week. But other than that, again, I think Oregon's pretty average, right? But Oregon was the number 3 team in the country when Indiana beat them. Okay, Indiana's got a better resume. What about Ohio State? What's Ohio State's big win? Well, week 1, Texas. Grambling, Ohio, Washington, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisco, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan. Does Ohio State have a great resume? Don't know if they do. Okay, what about Oregon? Montana State, Oak State, Northwestern, Oregon State, Penn State, number 3 in the country. Got James Franklin fired. Oh, and then you turn around and get beat soundly at home by Indiana. Rutgers, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, Washington.
USC wins a good win.
Okay.
You don't think USC's a good win?
Well, you've spent most of this year telling me how bad USC is.
No, I've spent most of the year saying that they don't have a great defense.
Okay.
But they were ranked when you played them. That's a good win.
Does Georgia have a better resume than BYU? Yes, significantly. Significantly. Does Alabama have a better resume than BYU? Lost to Florida State. Terrible loss. Monroe, Wisco, Georgia. Huge win. Vanderbilt, huge win. Missouri, huge win. Tennessee, huge win. You lost to Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, Auburn, and now you play Georgia. Bama's got a better resume. Bama's got a better resume. So that's why I sit here and I say, okay, the only other one that you might point to is Ole Miss, but Ole Miss beat Oklahoma. A really good Oklahoma team, right? And at the time, they beat a number 5 LSU team. Well, what about Oklahoma? Illinois State, Michigan, Temple, Auburn, Kent State lost to Texas. South Carolina lost to Ole Miss. Tennessee, Bama, Missouri, LSU. It's a better resume than BYU. It's a better resume. That's why I say, like, we can play this game. BYU doesn't belong in the top. Like, I've seen BYU fans saying, hey, we're 11-1. Put us in the top. No, you're not in the top 5. I think if we go back, and again, we look at this graphic, they should be 10th.
That's my struggle with Texas Tech. Like, how is anyone to have Texas Tech as a top 5 team? Like,
I've heard that argument because Texas Tech's resume is not great. And BYU, in my opinion, has a better resume than Texas Tech. I think losing to Arizona State, the problem is, well, head-to-head, Monty.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they should be 4th.
What if they lose to BYU this week? Should BYU be ranked ahead of Texas Tech?
Yeah, they should.
Probably.
Are you not the same team at that point?
Probably.
Right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why if you win this game, okay, now you can flip everyone the bird and say, we should have been in the whole time. We're the same team. Rank us ahead of Tech. Like, I'm down for all of that if you win this game. But you're going to have to prove it on the field, bro. That's what you have to do. I'm sorry. But, like, you don't get the Ohio State benefit of the doubt. Like, you don't get, I'm even open to the, hey, BYU should be ahead of Notre Dame conversation. Okay, great. I'm here for that. I'm good with it. But again, I still maintain you don't get the benefit of the doubt that they do. And it's not even set in stone that they're going to get that benefit of the doubt. They may get bounced. Like, that could happen. So,
I would agree with that.
I think everyone's focused on Notre Dame. But who's to say they're even in the CFP? I mean, it could very well be Miami. I mean, we have no idea what this committee is going to do. So, I think that BYU, if they win the game by 1 point or 100 points, should be ahead of Tech. There's no justification, in my opinion, for Texas Tech to be a top 5 team in any form or fashion. You haven't been in the CFP, so you don't have the credibility. You are a hot shot on the scene. This is your first year on the scene. You damn near played the same schedule BYU did, in the sense that it's a Big 12 schedule, right? Maybe a couple of home games here, away games there. Okay, cool. We can nitpick it, but it's a Big 12 schedule. And we've just spent the week talking about how Baylor is ass and K-State is ass and TCU is ass and, all the Iowa State's ass. Like,
yeah.
Dude, at some point, like, BYU and Texas Tech is the ultimate head-to-head. It's the ultimate, hey, if you're both one-loss teams, I just don't understand at that point, because you've lost the Big 12 championship, how BYU's not ahead of you. How are they not ahead of you? Again,
I think they probably are.
Like, how are they not? They have to be, because they just won the Big 12 and they beat Texas Tech doing it. Like, they have to be ahead at that point.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I just don't know. I think that's tough. Rex Kwando, who's been a member for 11 months. Viewership is absolutely why BYU is 11th. Like, a lack of viewership, you mean? Yeah, their TV numbers have not been great this year. I mean, what did the Holy War draw? 2 million, I think. If I remember right, I can look that up. But you look at the biggest games of the year, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. And I think it's really difficult when you start looking at, oof. Yeah, the Big 12 does not have good TV numbers. I mean, it is it's awfully difficult to, when you look at the fact that Alabama's put up 47 million views, or I mean, it's really Iowa State is probably the most watched Big 12 team.
How?
Right? I mean, Iowa State, this is a month ago, though, 15 million views. That's really tough. And I don't know. Man, that's frustrating. But I also think this is where, and I know nobody agrees with me, and I'm just an asshole. Isn't this why you don't play the Texas Tech game at 2 a.m.?
What choice do they have?
You don't, because your TV partners are the one picking the window. So it's terrible. Brett Yormark's got to lobby for them to get better windows for their biggest games. It's the simple reality of it.
But I agree with that, but I also think that this is why, like, it's not good enough for Tech to just get into the playoff. You can't just get in and lose. Like, you need to show that you can beat. I think your latest matchup was Oregon. I think the latest one they put out or whatever it was. Like, you got to come out and beat one of these teams and say, hey, yeah, like Texas Tech is Big Ten good. Texas Tech is SEC good. The Big 12 hasn't shown that yet. Nobody believes that Tech is as good as Oregon. Nobody believes that Tech is as good as Bama or Ole Miss or Georgia.
I think Tech is better than Oregon.
Well, you're in the minority on that, because I'm telling you, most people are like, yeah, it's Dan Lanning and it's Oregon and they're way better. And I'm not saying that that's true, but what I'm saying is the perception is a huge issue.
That's for sure. Perception's absolutely a problem. Delaric, hello, for $5. What happens if there are only 4 ranked champs? Because that can happen. It'd be the 5 highest ranked conference champions. So you just keep going down the list, man. Do they rank one just to make 5 ranked champions? You don't have to be in the top 25. It doesn't say the 5 highest top 25 ranked conference champions. So, King of Thailand, who's been a member for 21 months.
So, dude.
Thailand, how are you? Hope everything is good over there these days. My guy. BYU beats Tech. They will begin to get more viewership, similar to Boise State versus Oklahoma a year ago. Yeah, maybe. That could be. Yeah. Big 12 games need to be at 5 p.m. Too late, people go to bed. Too early, people forget. You're not wrong about that. But, Eggy, my dread as a BYU fan is BYU wins. Then they put us 8 or 9 spot to play Tech for a third time just to score for the Big 12. How bad would that be for the Big 12? Then you're guaranteed 2 games. Which would be brutal. That'd be brutal. So, awkward guy. What's a better cooked duck or a nice buttery tortilla? Nothing wrong with a buttery tortilla. Big Blue Horses. Big 12 has to get in and make a run, not just show up. I agree with that.
Completely.
You got to win big games. Joey Harper. Big 12 championship should have been prime time on Friday, and the American in the Big 12 spot Saturday morning. And I keep making this argument, and I know that I'm stupid, and nobody would argue with that I'm stupid. Playing this game at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern is stupid. It's another 11 a.m. local kickoff in Arlington. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. There's just no way. The Big 12 is the Big 12's biggest issue. Stadium guy, TCU apologist James. Big 12 title game is BYU's chance to shine.
Wow. Okay.
Beat Tech and you're in. Are you sure?
Huh.
I think we'll get more.
Are you a stupid person?
I think you will get more of a national audience on Saturday. Yeah. I do like that you do become the master of the obvious when you're trying to like ingratiate yourself with the comment section. Look, guys, I gotta tell you, if you want bread, you got to put it in the oven and bake it. Okay, like I mean,
yeah, make sure you get your sourdough starter really nice and refrigerated, man.
Breaking news, James. Thanks for the tip. I knew it. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. That is Dana whispering into James's ear. Yes.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
The CFP is hosed if Duke, BYU, and Bama win. Well, there is that. Chewy Gonzalez. I and other Utah fans are rooting for BYU to lose, not supporting the Zoobies. No, you want them to win. Gabriel, is Scott Frost fired already? No? Damn. Yeah, dude. TCU James, my point was that there are fewer games on Saturday, so this is their chance to prove they belong. Nobody will watch. What do we want to guess that game draws?
4.
Does it break 4 million?
No. Like 3.9. 4 million's the top.
I think that's true. And don't forget, this game's on ABC. It's not on ESPN. It's not in the app. It's not in Diego Pavia's mom like it is. Bailey Dietrich, is Epstein you going to hire someone? No, but this video, and I'm sure everybody has seen this video is elite.
I saw all your Ohio State bullshit, so I came over here to tell you Indiana's gonna beat that.
How good is that?
James getting smacked in the comment section every day.
How good is it? You know what, Monty? I saw your Notre Dame BS.
I saw all your Ohio State bullshit, so I came over here to tell you Indiana's gonna beat that.
How good is that, you guys? Like, my God. That's got to be a drop.
I saw all your Ohio State bullshit.
That's got to be a drop, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be a drop.
I saw all your Ohio State bullshit.
How good is that old lady, dude? Boyd Lake. Guys. Hey, guys. Bear will take BYU to a victory. I'm not lying. L-Y-O-N.
Oh, like Ryder Lions, L-Y-O-N, not L-I-O-N. And it's lion and lions, and so it all kind of works out, and it's a play on words and stuff. I got it. Okay.
I mean, it feels complicated, but, I mean, when you use this visual,
we don't take any shit.
Hey, baby. Anyway, the point is... It's so upsetting to you.
He's a hoe, and I want that known.
That's so upsetting to you that I think she's hot.
Got anything to say, quite frankly, fuck you.
Randy Riding, what's up, Randy? Makes me want to puke, but this Ute fan wants BYU to beat Tech. You need them to beat Tech. You do. Oh, my God. Oak State had to have laughed so hard he spotted on that one. He did. Maybe, James, you got to check and see if little came out.
No,
Wade. Hello, Wade. BYU is not concerned with Provo Dave. Whatever is stupid guy doing in Provo today, Control-Alt-Delete.
Jesus.
I mean, but it's not that you're concerned with Provo Dave. Right, but BYU fan does love them some Dave right now.
I got to do this final rant. Everybody's been talking about BYU since the rankings came out, the committee. They are absolutely, undeniably getting screwed. One of the bigger...
Oh, Dave! Oh, Dave!
Oh, my God, Dave! Come on, dude. I mean, honestly, come on.
Hey, Dave, my name's Will. Here's your, this is called a Temple Recommend. We'll see you Sunday.
We show up.
You guys will hold the doors open for BYU Dave. You know, don't forget Brutus putting an X over the block M and put script Ohio using his feet. Dude, I thought that was one of the best moments ever. One of the best moments ever. Gabriel, slurping noises? Maybe I do agree with that guy the other day needing to listen to the show wearing earbuds.
Hey, man. Just saying.
I'll be rooting for Tech. Screw Provo community.
Damn. Provo Community College?
Oh my God.
Bro.
I do love the Holy War hate.
Dude, Provo Community College. Damn.
D-Rock, good to see you. On 3, JMU is working to finalize a deal with Billy Napier. And if Pete Nacko said it, it's probably not.
We keeping a buck right now, we ask.
CJ Vance, Provo Community College, salty much? The fact that BYU is on the precipice of getting into the college football playoff before Utah. Bro, how pissed are Utah? This is going to be a long year for Utah fans if BYU gets in.
God's name, image, and likeness.
I mean, that to me anyway is... I think that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I don't know. Can you imagine if BYU like got in and made a run? How pissed would Utah fan be?
Very.
You know, that would be, that'd be crazy. So, you know, there's a bear loose in Provo. See, like all the BYU fans are in.
Right.
I'm not saying that Bear Bachmeier is the best quarterback in college football. We've been really honest about him on this show, but that, and I do think that On 3 hates BYU. That's just my opinion. I've always felt like there was bias there, but I mean, you can't leave Bear Bachmeier off a list of the best freshmen in the country. That's ridiculous. And then having Julian Sand on that list is, when he's not a freshman, that's a little
insane. Yeah.
And I think Julian, you guys know I have slurped Julian Sand pretty much all year. I love the kid. But he's not a freshman. Right? And then to leave Bear off this list. Come on. You know. Monty, who does Penn State hire now? Best guess, Brian Dable. I think Matt Campbell is under the radar. Are they making an announcement? Are we getting? Did I miss something?
I haven't seen anything. I don't know. Let me check again.
Anything either. I hope they do. I would love to see them hire somebody today. You just cannot continue to. You just cannot continue to play this game.
Yeah, I mean, how long are they going to wait, dude? Like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that Matt Campbell, that's the guy they should hire. Will they hire? I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't see anything about it yet, but.
Yeah, I don't see anything about it either, but. My opinion is, it doesn't, my opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really difficult for them to hire somebody well. You have botched this so hard. So hard. Terry Smith or Dable. I think the boosters allegedly want Terry Smith. You know, I mean,
I guess Terry Smith is a decent option, but like,
but he's
neither
not.
of these guys are like,
he's not.
Yeah, like neither of these guys are amazing.
Brian Daboll's the right guy. Brian Daboll's the right guy. You can't overlook the fact, the work he did with Josh Allen, the guy just wins. I mean, do you hold the Giants stuff against him? I don't. I think that organization, as we, looking at his resume, it's awfully difficult to hold it against him. There's just so many guys that don't want the Penn State job. That's the problem. There's so many guys. Like you look at this situation, and now you're hearing Kalen DeBoer, who was supposedly a candidate, is not a candidate.
I know this is a little off topic, but since we're all here for 30 minutes, just what do you think when people link you to the Penn State job and say that you and your family aren't happy at Alabama?
Yeah, we are extremely happy at Alabama. It's the first time I've been asked, so I appreciate you, Charlie. And we are extremely happy here. Love the challenge, love the grind, love this place. And there's never been any link. There's never been any conversation. There's never been any interest either way. And so I'm glad we can put that to bed right now.
I mean,
it's pretty definitive to me.
That's pretty definitive. That's not, we're gonna reevaluate everything. We love Alabama. We're gonna be here.
No, you know what? It's not. It's not. Yeah, I'm focused on things this week, and we can talk about it after the season. That's not what that was, dude. That was, hey, there's no interest either way, and we're not. That's not happening.
Yeah, I think it's brutal that your athletic director can't hire a football coach. I want to understand, how did you screw this up to this level? That's the thing that I really struggle with. And I know that I took a lot of heat yesterday for saying Penn State deserves better than this. Their brand deserves better than this, but they do. And I agree. Are they a bunch of pedophiles and liars and cheaters?
Knuckle deep boys, dude.
The knuckle deep boys. But they deserve better than this. Right? Like it's remarkable how many people have said no. Straight up, the list is amazing of people who have said no. And the Kalani thing, the money that's been made, it's incredible to me, the money that guys have made. And now Jeff Brom is saying no, and he didn't even get an extension. Right? Like, I don't understand it. You think about Kurt Cignetti extension, like Kalani extension, Matt Rule extension. Like, how do you even explain this?
You don't. The only way to explain the whole Penn State situation is they weren't aggressive enough early on in the process. That what they did a poor job of is they didn't target a guy. They didn't say, hey, this is our dude. We're going to do everything in our power to get him. We are going to pay him well. We are going to pay his staff well. We are going to give him money for NIL and portal, and we're going to just make it happen the way that LSU made it happen, or the way that BYU made it happen earlier in the week, or whatever. Like, that's the problem.
Why are you not calling Manny Diaz? Can anybody explain that to me? Because you're at DEFCON 29 right now.
It's true.
Yeah, he's got Duke in the ACC championship game. Why are you not talking to Manny Diaz? I brought him up earlier, and you crapped on me. What was that, 2 months ago now? Back in the summer of 79 when they fired James Franklin? I'm telling you, Manny Diaz, you can't tell me he says no. Yeah, call Bo Pelini.
Call anybody. Like, you got to get something done. I mean, the other part of it that I just don't understand is, like, okay, cool, you haven't had a guy to this point, but, like, it's time to wrap this up, dude. And I understand maybe that means you're getting a guy that maybe you weren't thrilled about. But, bro, you don't have, like,
You're
you
past
can't just
that now.
Like, you can't just waste another month on this, dude. Like, if you have any hope.
And you can't hire Terry Smith, with all due respect. You can't hire Terry Smith. When's the last time You saw a team hire a coach who players were tweeting about saying, we want this guy to be our coach. And it worked out. Did Jerry Neuheisel get the UCLA job? Oh, no, he didn't. That's right, because Bob Chesney turned down the Penn State offer to go to UCLA. He never had an offer. You're right, because he said he didn't want to continue. He was taking the UCLA job. You can't hire. Terry Smith is not a head coach.
No, he's not.
Manny Diaz has Duke in the ACC championship game somehow, some way. I don't care. He does. Matt Campbell's the guy you should probably hire. In order, I would probably be Matt Campbell, Brian Daboll, Manny Diaz. The Pagula family wants to bankroll Brian Daboll, and you're saying no. Like, how does that work? I don't understand it. And again, I think Pete Nakos at On 3 is a buffoon. But he's never right about anything. But if he says that there's what did he say? A grassroots effort or groundswell to hire Terry Smith. Well, if that happens, good luck. Yeah. Why don't you hire Mike Gundy?
I mean, honestly, at this point.
Did Mike Gundy get the Arkansas job? No, he didn't, after all those players were like, oh, Gundy, he's our guy. It's fine. Mike Elko built Duke. Yeah, funny thing is Mike Elko's not there, and they're better than they were when he was there. You know, I think it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that they've gotten this far. It never had to happen. Yes, Campbell is a better hire for Penn State, but the donors like Smith and money talks. You don't know that the donors like Terry.
Yeah, you have no idea that the donors like Terry Smith.
Yeah.
I think that donors aren't stupid. I think that if the BYU thing has shown you anything, if the LSU thing showed you anything, donors are business people that happen to have an interest in football. So, like, they understand reputations. They understand resumes of candidates. They understand, hey, like, this guy's got a checkered past, but maybe he's an elite football coach, right? Maybe he's not a good person, but he's an elite football coach. Or maybe, hey, like, this guy's an average-ass coach, but, he's never going to have us in trouble, right? He's the Kirk Ferentz of football coaches. Like boosters aren't dumb. Like, they have power, and they understand it. They get it. But I just don't think that so you can't have it both ways. You can't say we're Penn State and we're firing James Franklin because not going to the CFP or not winning natties ain't good enough anymore. And then hire some Joe Schmo from the G5 or someone who doesn't have any credibility. That's the problem. I agree that at this stage in the process, Manny Diaz is a guy you should be taking a run at. Right? Like, Manny Diaz probably isn't the guy you want to run at if Matt Rule's available or if Matt Campbell was available or if,
I go back to, again, and the things I've uttered on this show where people have gotten all pissed off. Why haven't you called Dan Mullen? That's another guy that I'm like, you guys are all out here talking about PJ Fleck. I'm like, dude, you're going to hire PJ Fleck over Dan Mullen? I'm not. Give me Dan Mullen and his handsy wife. She fits in at Penn State, for crying out loud. Right? Like, I think my opinion is you should be Matt Campbell, Brian Daboll, Manny Diaz. And all the Penn State fans that a Penn State fan has so much anger over it, and I get it. I'd be upset too. At this point, I think Pedo State fan just wishes they would hire anyone at this point so they can start getting kids from the portal since they lost the recruiting class. And how? I mean, good golly, Miss Molly. Is that what we're calling it? Losing the recruiting class?
I mean,
my goodness.
I that's not how I would categorize it. I don't even think you were trying. I don't think you were in a position to go out and get, like, you're just not equipped to go and get the best kids out of the class at the high school level right now because you don't have a head coach. Who the hell are they playing for? I'm telling you, kids care about that. Like everyone thinks kids just care about the money. Yes, the money matters. Yes, it's important. Yes, it can be a deciding factor in a lot of different scenarios and situations. But if you don't even know who the hell you're playing for, the money doesn't even matter. Like if I can't say, yeah, I'm going to play for Lane Kiffin, pay me this and I'll be there. Okay, cool. We can do that. But hey, I'm going to play for Mr. No Name Coach. No, I'm not. Like it doesn't matter how many dollars you're giving me.
CBS Sports is reporting that Terry Smith is interviewing for the Memphis head coaching job today.
Yeah, it's not going to be Terry
Smith. Can you imagine the kick in the balls it would be if Terry Smith got hired at Memphis before Penn State hired a coach? Oh my God. That would be amazing. Like you've lost everybody. Does anybody actually sit in the Penn State football office if Terry Smith gets the job at Memphis? Oh my God. That would be, I feel so bad for Penn State fans. I mean, outside of the fact that you support a bunch of pedophiles. Other than that, I'm sure there's great people on both sides of this thing. But anyway,
the only percentage of Penn State fans that I feel sorry for are alumni. If you went there to get an education as a doctor or like you went there to get an education and that was the best path for you, and then all that stuff happened and you didn't defend them and you think it's horrifying, and okay, I can have some empathy for you. I get that. I understand why that's difficult. But if you're a Penn State fan like the troll that's in here all the time, piss off. I don't feel bad for you. You're trying to defend the decisions that school and athletic department made, and now all this is coming back to you. Like you guys want to put it on Jimmy Sexton, and I'm telling you, it's your reputation and your inability to win ball games that has you having a real hard time getting people hired. And your willingness to go out and just absolutely cut James Franklin down at the knees because he wasn't winning enough is why nobody wants to work for you. That's why nobody wants to work for you, dude. And I get it. I understand the narrative. I agree. Dude didn't win enough big games. That doesn't mean you weren't relevant. That doesn't mean you weren't getting enough recruits, though. You were in all those games. It's not James Franklin's fault Drew Aller threw it to the wrong team. It's not his fault. He had you in that game. It's not his fault, dude. Like, I struggle with this, man. I really struggle. Like, he's not a championship caliber head coach, but damn if he's not the best of the rest. Like, he's a really good head coach. Not a great guy, really good head coach. Just not a Ryan Day level head coach.
Man. I think I'd hire Matt Campbell. That's what I would do if I were Penn State. I mean, if Terry Smith gets that job at Memphis, oh my God. Would Matt Campbell leave Iowa State? Would Matt Campbell leave Iowa State to go to Penn State? I don't know. I mean, this coaching carousel is crazy because don't forget that Kyle Whittingham's got to make a decision about retirement tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's, I think isn't tomorrow the contract date where he's got to retire? Announce his retirement or not? Like, that's a big deal. I mean, I think I probably would go all in on Matt Campbell. I think the Big 12 is going to have significant turnover, and I would go all in on Matt Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the best option. I think he's
sitting here thinking about it. He's in the recruiting cycle. Dayball's not. Matt Campbell would be my number one.
Listen,
I don't even know that I can argue that.
It depends on, and I agree. If it's just coaches for coaches, and we're not even we're not considering Penn State's position at all, he's the best candidate. But I'm telling you, there's more to this than just, hey, who's the best available at this point. I personally believe that Penn State Americans have to consider the fact that, yeah, you're already out of the cycle. You're already 2 years behind, in my opinion, because you didn't get the guys this time. and you're going to struggle to get them next time because you don't have the guys this time, right? It's a multi-year effect. It's a trickle-down effect. So if you're at Penn State right now, you need to consider, okay, well, hey, like, what's the best fit in a 5 to 7 year cycle? Because that's what it is now, dude. Notice Lane didn't get a 2-year deal, right? Like Lane got a long-term deal, right?
For a lot
like
of
these
money.
guys get long-term deals because recruiting takes time to build. There's a cycle, right? This is Lincoln at USC. It's taken time, but he didn't have resources. Now he does. So now they're getting better. Like, so you need to consider, okay, well, hey, if we want to go with the Dayball route, well, Dayball's never really been successful at the college level as a head coach. He's an NFL guy. Okay, well, yeah, we're taking a flyer, but hey, he's got, he's done it. So maybe they would respect, okay, I probably wouldn't hire Dayball, man. You're taking a flyer. You can't do that here. Okay, well, Matt Campbell. Okay, if you go with Matt Campbell, you got to be good with the fact that this dude's never won a conference, like that. This dude's never been to the CFP like that. So where does he stack up? Well, he's probably the best of the rest. That's where he stacks up. Then I got to look at Manny Diaz and I got to say, okay, well, hey, now we're talking stylistically, right? Do you want ACC, play the softer schedule guy, but making the absolute best of his situation and working his ass off? Or do you want Matt Campbell, a guy who was on top of the Big 12, absolutely dog crap season this year, totally underachieved, and maybe would be motivated by an upgrade? Because Penn State, by all accounts, is an upgrade to Duke and Iowa State. So I'm telling you, it's a 5 to 7 year decision. You can't just look at it head to head. It's got to be who's best in the long term for where we're going. And I'm not confident that Brian Daboll is best. I'm with you. It's Diaz or Campbell, and Dave's is the fallback plan. Absolutely.
Manny Diaz doesn't make a lot of sense from a practical standpoint that I don't think you can wait until that conference championship game's over. And I know you guys are saying, well, Monty, it's only 2 days. Yeah, that's 2 full days. Yeah. That's a long time. That's a long time. And you have zero momentum moving forward. I think if you're Penn State, you need to hire somebody today. Like, there's no question about that. And I thought Iowa State committed to spend and step it up. Yes, no, maybe. Their players took pay cuts to come back, which how did that work out? Husker Magic, Penn State is not so desperate that they need to go all in on Matt Campbell. Well, I think they do need to go all in on Matt Campbell.
I think they are that desperate to
move. I don't, what options do they have?
Yeah. You're going to need to talk about what options they have, dude.
Yeah.
But see, again, his other comment here, his last comment right here. PSU does not need to rebuild, they reload. Well, here's the problem with that, dude. You do have to rebuild because you have lost all your ammunition. This is not a retool, dude. This is not a reload. This is not the Dallas Cowboys. This is not again, this is not Bama or Georgia or, it's just not. Like, it's not.
It's not.
This is a full rebuild at this point.
Yeah, I think it's going to be this is going to be tough to excuse away. This can be tough to excuse away. The press conference off of this hire is going to be really uncomfortable.
And by the way,
it's really, really uncomfortable.
As Penn State fans, who do you want then? If you, I see Phenomenal Hebrew is crapping on Matt Campbell, and this guy's saying no Matt Campbell. Okay, well, if you don't want Matt Campbell, who do you want, dude? Who are you going to go and get?
If you think Matt Campbell's not a good coach, you just don't know. You don't know.
Who are your options? Who are your? I would love for guys like Phenomenal Hebrew or this dude or any of the other dudes. Who are your options? Who do you want? Who are you going to go and get? Because you're not going to go and get someone who's already at a program. They have all re-upped. They have all signed extensions. So you're telling me then that Ed O is your guy, that Gruden's your guy, that really you want Ogeron and Gruden over Campbell? I highly doubt that, dude. I really highly doubt that. So,
yeah, I think Matt Campbell, if you hired Matt Campbell, you would instantly have credibility. I mean, you would instantly have credibility. Or you could hire Trent Dilfer.
Oh, man, dude.
Or Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah.
Craig T. Nelson.
Why don't we add Hugh Janus to the list while we're at it?
Hugh Janus. Yeah.
Hugh Janus.
You know, yeah, could be Nick Saban. Could be Nick Saban. I don't want Matt Campbell at all. Y'all support him. I know he's garbage.
Again, who do you want then? It's easy for you to just sit here and rip all these options.
No, he's ripping us. He's not ripping Matt Campbell. Because y'all support him. He's garbage. Okay. Hey, we're not the ones supporting pedophiles, you know. When has Matt Campbell won the Big 12 or even close to? Are you being
last year, bro?
Are you being serious? What is? I don't understand what the argument's about. I get it. You don't like our show, but yet here you are.
Every day listening and watching.
I mean, which is fine. Which is fine. I mean, the guy, didn't they yet? I think they tied for first last year. Finished 15th in the country. Didn't they? They won the conference in 2020. Finished ninth in the country, I think, that year. The guy is like at Iowa State. I should look this up. At Iowa State. And on that Iowa State team, isn't that the Iowa State team that had, and I don't want to speak out no turn, boy, but I'm pretty sure that's the Iowa State team that had all that NFL talent on it. And I'm trying to and of course, my internet is incredibly slow. But I'm pretty sure that was the Purdy Hall team. Like Breece Hall was on that team. Like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with my browser right now.
Brutal, bro.
I can't even function. But anyway, the point is, Matt Campbell's put dudes in the NFL. Pretty sure that I think he's like 72-55 at Iowa State. Like, he's a phenomenal coach. Phenomenal coach with no resources in Ames. You know,
and he's literally saying that too, which is funny.
It's justice being served in small ways. It is. You know, T Jarhead. Iowa State hasn't won the Big 12 ever. They have twice under Matt Campbell. But, you know, Big Daddy Magic. Only deadbeat dads and people who cheat on their taxes and card games don't like the show. And the show is the best show on YouTube next to the wrestling content on YouTube. Okay. You know, I don't dislike your show. I don't like your bias, Notre Dame garbage you spit sometimes. How am I biased to Notre Dame? This is what I love. Do you know how many Notre Dame fans are like, stop saying you're a Notre Dame fan, you only rep the team.
Marcus for president.
And this is a BYU. No, wait, I'm sorry. This is an SC. My Notre Dame.
I don't know. I don't know if.
You know. Fight on Natties. Matt Campbell, why would he leave when he has the opportunity to win the conference every single season? I'm not talking trash by any means about the Big 12. He would leave because it's Penn State.
Yeah, it's a better opportunity. That's why he would leave. He would leave because it's more money for him. He would leave because it's the next step in his career. Like, it makes sense. It's a natural progression to a guy's career who's shown the ability at the Big 12 level, who clearly, you know, is working with a lack of assets, which is why we're getting the absolute, you know, just ass take that it's a good idea to cut your NIL allotment because players just want to stay on loyalty. Absolutely terrible. But I commend you for your sales job that's being pushed down on you by the admin. You know, so I just think if you were to hire him, at least you know you're getting reliability. At least you know that this is a guy who doesn't have scandal and, you know, is coaching his ass off and is doing things with a guy like Rocco Becht, who, like, I feel like nobody knows. You know, he's doing things with the Brock Purdy's of the world. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't have, you know, he doesn't have Ty Simpson. He didn't have Julian Sand. You know, like, it's different.
Yeah, I think it is. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I would hire Matt Campbell. So we know they wanted to talk to Matt Campbell. He said, I won't do it during the season. But, you know, Tex-Mex Barbecue. If the CFP committee loves the Big 12, why leave it? Well, because I don't think they love the Big 12 at all. At all. Notre Dame is number 3 in a results-based model. They could win the Natty if they were put in the playoff. I think we haven't played a really fierce defense. That's what I would say. So I'm curious how Notre Dame would do with against a really good defense. What do you think Brett Yormark is going to do if BYU gets left out? Curl up on the floor and cry?
Yeah, he'll complain. He'll pitch a fit. That's what he'll do. What
Yes,
he can do. Yeah.
What he's not going to do is get $1 million and sue the NCAA.
Like the state of Florida is going to do when Miami gets left out.
That's not going to happen. Monty, OU won the Big 12 from 2015 to 2020. Baylor won it in 21. K-State in 22. Okay, so why do I care? Why do I care? What is your point? I'm curious what your point is. Because
it doesn't matter if Matt Campbell's won the Big 12 or not, dude. What matters is he's competitive, and they are competing to win the Big 12. Like, this is really not a conversation.
Who finished first in the Big 12 in 2020? Did they win the conference championship game? No, I think they lost to Oklahoma. Right? And
weren't they in the championship game last year? Am I misremembering that?
Yeah. But James doesn't know what he's talking about. He finished first in the Big 12 and lost to Oklahoma. Did they finish first in the Big 12? They did. But they were in the championship game last year. They were. In my opinion, Notre Dame would have a better chance of winning it all than Miami, Alabama, Vanderbilt, or Ole Miss. I just think Notre Dame and Miami should have to play again to see who's in. That's what I think. But, if BYU gets left out, Brett Yormark and most everybody else will demand that there shall be an expanded college football playoff. Well, no, I don't think
isn't that what they're doing already?
Yeah, and I don't think they will because it doesn't solve the problem. And this is this Tony Petitti stuff today, and I've been trying to tell you guys that Tony Petitti is a rudderless ship. And I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you fix it. Because when you start looking at this stuff with Tony Petitti, and I don't know, you guys, you tell me, I think Tony Petitti's the worst conference commissioner now. And I think it is amazing that Tony Petitti is getting crushed over everything. The money he is spending to try and get the college football playoff to 24, is ridiculous. And then you start looking at congressmen crushing Tony Petitti on Twitter, saying that he's trying to buy people. Nobody likes Tony Petitti. Nobody likes Tony Petitti. Calling him a bullying jackass. Then Congress could get on with passing some reasonable legislation to fix college sports. It's how do you get to a place where Baumgartner is tweeting what a jackwagon you are? Because I think Tony Petitti recognizes he can't compete. I think he recognizes he cannot compete. And you start looking at all of this stuff all this recruiting stuff that came out about the losses in the losses in the Big Ten. And this situation, is Michigan going to lose Bryce Underwood?
They're working hard to.
it certainly sounds like it, right? I mean, you listen to Dave Portnoy, who was on the Triple Option podcast this week, talking about Michigan and Bryce Underwood. It certainly sounds like Dave Portnoy is sick of Bryce Underwood, and he's pretty resigned to what's about to happen.
Someone say, hey, Bryce wants to renegotiate or something like that. Or are you out of it?
I'm out of it. He'd have some big balls to say he wants to renegotiate now. I don't think that's coming down the pike. That would be surreal. If somebody came along and like, hey, Bryce, here's 20 mil. I think he could bounce if he wanted to.
Did Dave Portnoy just ask somebody to offer Bryce a bag so that he'd leave Michigan?
That's kind of what it sounds like, dude. It like Dave's making it out like Bryce is dramatic or that he's not been good enough or like it's on him. And I'm just sitting here saying like, dude, you got to develop the kid. You got to teach the kid how to play football, dude. You got to teach the kid how to run an offense. Like, and sorry, my bad. I'm confused, Dave. Are you a Michigan fan or a BYU fan? I'm a little confused here, dude.
Well, Dave is certainly a Michigan fan. I don't think any of us are confused, but I agree. He's kind of been doing that whole thing because he wants views. I think that Michigan's in trouble, and I think the Big Ten is in real trouble. The Big Ten's a bad football league. Up and coming in basketball. Michigan's an abject disaster. Michigan State, good luck. You have Ohio State carrying that league. Indiana and Oregon want to, but haven't been able to. I think this is a huge playoff for SIG in Indiana because I think the Big Ten desperately needs SIG to be legit every single year at Indiana. And I think, you know what my biggest concern is? That when you start looking at the Big Ten championship game, this is easily and by far, I mean, by far, the best defense that Indiana has seen. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, Indiana State, Illinois, Iowa, Oregon, Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, Penn State, Wisco, Purdue, and now Ohio State. Indiana has one quality win. And Oregon's defense is not very good, and they got exposed in that game. And then you start looking at Fernando Mendoza. And I say we should probably look at the games where he went monstrous. Well, it wasn't Penn State, who's the second best defense they faced. And it wasn't Oregon, who's probably actually the second best. Penn State would probably be the best. Those were their two biggest games by far, and he was not good. 20 of 31, 215, a touch and a pick against Oregon, or excuse me, a tutty and a pick against Oregon. And then against the knuckle deep boys, he was 19 of 30, 218, a tutty and a pick. And he needed an unbelievable catch in the back of the end zone to win that game. I think I like Oregon in this, or Ohio State in this game a lot. I think I like, now, Julian hasn't seen anybody like this either.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. And I've seen that all over the place from Indiana fan. But I think I like Ohio State. And if Ohio State wins this league again, wins the championship game, ooh. This is a one-team league. As simple as that.
Yeah, I my concern, I definitely have Indiana covering for sure. No question about it. I think they're the most physical team that Ohio State will have seen this year. I think Ohio State's very good. I think that you know, you've got Fernando Mendoza is extremely capable, and this is one of those games that's damn near impossible to predict. You have to take Ohio State to win. I think you have to take Indiana to cover, but it's a one-play game. I mean, if Saints got even one mistake in this game, one interception, a fumble, anything, Indiana is right in the driver's seat to win the game. And that's because they're physical. They've got a quarterback that can throw against any defense, and they like to run the football. So, and I think player availability throughout a game playing against Indiana for the conference championship. I mean, come on, dude. You damn well know that they're going to be out here looking to end people on the football field. That's.
I just think, and again, I understand that people hate me. Big Ten fans think that I'm biased. Tell me how this is one of the great football leagues in the country. You look at the teams you added. USC's been disappointing, even though I think they were much better this year. Oregon's been disappointing. Indiana, I think jury's out. Michigan disgraced this league. Terrible team this year. You're going to probably lose Bryce Underwood to the portal. Michigan State's a laughingstock. Rutgers, don't even get me started. UCLA, Nebraska, even with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback at Nebraska, they've been terrible. I think Oregon's been a huge disappointment. I think that loss last year in the playoff was devastating for this league.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I come back to this thing. I think Ohio State's going to win. And I think it would be, it's much better for the Big Ten if Indiana wins. Because you have to at some point prove that you have depth in this league. And as much as I love Lincoln and SC and I love this recruiting class, he hasn't won. He hasn't gotten close to the playoff.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is I think depth in college football right now is defined by how many teams you have in the CFP. The national championship is a whole different story. I think, I agree that loss by Oregon is brutal for the Big Ten, but they were in the CFP. Yeah,
I'm going to say I'm going to disagree. I think that if you look at the current standings, how many teams in the top 10 can win a national championship? And I agree. You have 3 of the top 5. Oregon's not the 5th best team in the country. They're not better than Ole Miss. They're not better than Alabama. And I don't think they're better than Notre Dame. I would take Notre Dame.
You don't think Oregon's better than Notre Dame?
No. In fact, I know they're not.
That's okay.
I know they're not.
I don't know how you can say that with Notre Dame, though.
Oh, easily. Here's how. Notre Dame's secondary has gotten progressively better because they're healthy now. And you look at the wide receivers at Oregon, they're not healthy. They've missed significant time. Notre Dame's got the edge. You're not going to be able to do to Notre Dame what you did to USC. You're not going to be able to push Notre Dame around and run all over them. You're not going to be able to do that. And then you flip the script. Notre Dame's best rushing team, or one of the best rushing teams, it's arguable, in the entire country. You don't pressure the quarterback at Oregon. You're one of the leading, I think you're still the leading team in the Big Ten in passes defended. It's a terrible matchup, man for man right now. And a lot of it is, I think even if your wide receivers are healthy, I lean Notre Dame over Oregon. Now, do I think Notre Dame's better than Ohio State or Indiana? I don't. I think Indiana would be very interesting because, again, I want to see them have to win with something else than being physical, because when you get to the CFP, you're not going to be able to push people around. That's not going to happen, especially in the later rounds. Is Notre Dame better than Georgia? No. Texas Tech, Notre Dame would win. Oregon, Notre Dame would win. They'd lose to Ole Miss. I think they would beat Texas A&M a second time around. I actually think Oklahoma would be a very interesting matchup, and I think Alabama's better than Notre Dame. But see, I'm not the guy that's all down on Oregon. I think Oregon's roster and their defense is incredibly flawed. If you cannot get to CJ Carr, you are not going to beat Notre Dame, because he's got guys who separate on all. And I think that's the thing. Like, I think Oregon just needs to get through this season, hopefully win a playoff game, right? If you win a playoff game, ain't nobody going to say anything about how your season went. If you lose in the playoffs in the first round again, in the first game you play, you're done. Like Dan Lanning, I like Dan. He's got to win a big game now. Dan's got to go and win a playoff game. It's not, I totally disagree. It's not good enough to get there. Right? Maybe for SIG it's good enough to get there, but Indiana hasn't done anything but dunk basketballs for the last 25 years. It's not a football school. This is a renaissance for them. Do you think it's good enough for Ohio State just to get there? No. They want to go back to back. Think it's good enough for Georgia just to get there? No. What I'm saying is, I think Oregon has to prove it. Oregon has to prove that they are the real deal. And as much as I don't think Notre Dame belongs in the college football playoff, I truly do not. I think there are some matchups where if the bracket falls right, Notre Dame could be in the last 2 rounds again. They could be in the last 2 rounds because anytime you have the run game and the point of attack that Notre Dame's got, you're gonna be in every single game. Because they got legitimately not 1 or 2, they've got 3 legitimate running backs. So you're going to be in every single game. And who knows if Jeremiah is healthy with this rib thing, or they are going to be in every game because up front they're really physical. They are really, really physical. So
yeah, guess we'll find out.
You wish you were me. LOL, dude, come on. 9 teams in the top 25 for recruiting ranking. It's easy to look that stuff up. What do you mean?
I don't know what he means. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know where that is. Monty trying to trigger the vest. No, I don't hate Dan Lanning, but I know we have a lot of new listeners on the show and whatnot, but you guys, I truly am somebody who analyzes football in a matchup lens. I look at unit versus unit, running backs versus defensive line and linebackers. I look at, hey, if Oregon's 100%, that's a 1-score game. One way or the other, I think it's a really close game. I think Notre Dame would win because I think Oregon doesn't do well with physicality. We've learned that several times this year. The Iowa game, Iowa was more physical and damn near almost beat them. Indiana was clearly more physical and whooped their ass.
Yeah, Indiana's the most physical team in the country. Like, I think that you know, we disagree where we say Oregon doesn't like physicality. I don't think that Oregon was prepared for Indiana's level of physicality, and that's why they lost the game. At the same time, they beat Iowa at their own game, right? They handled the Penn State team. They handled a Penn State team that you know was like, oh well, dude, Penn State's the best team in the country, man. Like, you know, I think
you had Garrett, you had your wide receivers in Iowa. You had your wide receivers. Dante Moore was 13 of 21 for 112. Obviously, what Noah Whittington did, and you ran the ball really well. I think they averaged like 7 yards a carry that game, if I remember right. They did 7.3. But I would also remind you that Iowa has no offense and scored 16 points. Iowa is a big physical defense. And if you don't get that last field goal, you lose that game. That game, you remember that game came down to the wire. And Atticus Sappington became a hero. Right? I'm telling you, Oregon struggles when they get pushed around up front. As everybody does. Again, it's why I would pick Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's running game, their zone scheme, their ability to move you with motion. That's like nobody outside of Ohio State that's in the playoff right now. Because I'm actually disappointed in Alabama's defense. The inconsistency in Alabama's defense really is frustrating.
Agreed.
But if you look at the defenses up front, right? If you look at the defenses in on this graphic, Notre Dame can move Every one of those defenses but Texas Tech. And against Texas Tech, I think Notre Dame would absolutely be able to throw the ball. We've seen where Texas Tech has been vulnerable. It's teams that get the ball down the field. And I just, all I'm saying is I look at it in a matchup sense. I don't think Notre Dame's the best team in the country. I'm not saying that.
Let me ask you this, because I'm not saying you're wildly wrong. Notre Dame's a physical team. Yes, they have one of the best running attacks. Yes, they have one of the best backs. All that, I just don't think you can dispute most of that. I agree with most of that. But I think my concern would be, or I guess just a question, maybe not a concern, but we've sat here for several days and talked about Notre Dame's schedule, right? This whole Notre Dame-Miami thing, and Notre Dame hasn't really played anybody since early in the season, and that's what everyone's been saying about Notre Dame. So when you look at Notre Dame, it's not a huge deal to you that they're if you look at the last 3 weeks, Stanford, Syracuse, I mean, the domination of Pitt, obviously, does it not concern you that none of those teams are really competitive with any of the teams that we're talking about them potentially playing in the CFP?
No, because I think you have to look at the different styles in those games. I mean, you look at how little was asked of. If you go to the Pitt game, how little was asked of CJ Carr in the Pitt game, and he had a terrible game, and they still won by, what was that, 15, 20 points, 22 points. I mean, because they never have to play your style of football, offense to defense. That the game that should concern you is the SC game. If you're a Notre Dame fan, you go look at that SC game. And what you really don't like in that game is our receivers were terrible route runners. Jordan Faison, I don't know that he ran a clean route in that game. And I look at Eli Reardon. Eli Reardon, our tight end, was a 0 in that game against a really average middle of the field defending team. Right? But what happened in that game? Jeremiah Love dominated.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely dominated. But what also happened in that game? Maava threw all over us, right? So I look at the Stanford game. I think Stanford's an interesting example. Watching the way that Aeneas Williams, because obviously Jeremiah was hurt in that game. I think he only carried it 14 times. Aeneas Williams ran the ball 10 times for 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's an 8.3 yard average. What does that mean? The offensive line dominates. It doesn't matter who the running back is. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who the back is. Yeah, the back doesn't have anything to do with it. I think it's who you're playing. Who are you moving? And
right, but look at Oregon versus Penn State. In a game where if average ass Aller, if Penn State has a quarterback, that game doesn't even get to overtime. They don't, though. And Drew Aller sucks. I will say it until I'm blue in the face, and I understand it upsets Penn State fan. But I talk about Bear Bachmeier being BYU's ceiling. Drew Aller, for the last 2 years, has been Penn State's ceiling. And the thing that really stands out to me in watching that Oregon-Penn State game was, one, they've regressed. I think Oregon has regressed because of injuries, but they have significantly regressed. Their explosive play rates way down. Dante Moore has had to become a much better thrower of the football. He can't just chuck it anymore, right? Because D'Carrion Moore, Gary Bryant, Kenyon Sadiq has missed so much time here lately because of injuries. Those are his top 3 guys, and you don't know week to week if they're available the last few weeks of the season. Notre Dame's progressing, and I think because of injury, Oregon is regressing. And they still, I would remind you, they defended only 3 passes against Penn State. And I say that because Penn State is a terrible passing team with Drew Aller. He is underneath or he is dead. But if you go to the SC game, And you start looking at the fact that Oregon defended 5 passes in that game and got 1 sack against a quarterback that is not hard to find in Jade Mayava. Like that's the thing that scares you more about Oregon. They don't press the passer.
He also had 2 picks in that game, though, too.
He did. And he didn't play well. The problem is, he had 2 picks, but he threw 3 touchdowns. And isn't that the game Mekhi Lemon threw that touchdown pass? Pretty sure. So, I just feel like it's one of those things where it's very the college football playoff is really matchup dependent. And I feel really confident. Like, you go back and watch our shows last year during the playoff. It's why we got the playoff so right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just start taking unit to unit, man for man, and you put those puzzle pieces together. There was no way Ohio State was going to lose to Notre Dame. That was not happening. That was not happening. I could ramble on all day. I probably should stop. Warren was the passing game, but then he left to the NFL. That's exactly right. That's right. I agree. Uncle Aller sucks because mediocre Franklin sucked. Well, I think Drew Aller just isn't dynamic. He's just not dynamic. He just can't. Drew Aller was never able to mentally deal with big moments. In the biggest moments of the last 2 years, whether it's Oregon this year, Notre Dame in the playoff last year, like so many big moments, Drew Aller shrank and made terrible decisions, throwing the triple coverage against Notre Dame, threw a ball that just needed, and he could, because he can't do it. At 6:24 left in the fourth quarter, Oregon was tied with Indiana 2020. They were. And I'm not, listen, again, I'm not telling you that Oregon's a bad football team. But what I'm telling you is they need their guys to get healthy and get back on the field. They need Bucky back to run the football. Like, that's another one that I think you really have to, they just have so many injuries. They have so many injuries, and it just sucks, man, because if football hurts, and I get that, but you really need to get healthy if you're going to make a playoff run. You need to get healthy. And I'll be honest with you, I think it's great for Oregon that they're not in the Big Ten championship. I think, when are they going to play? Like the 2 weeks? Like, isn't it the 19th is the game where they play?
Not soon enough for Oregon.
Yeah, probably. Well,
not soon enough, bro.
Heal. You need to heal. You have got Sadiq, I think, is the best tight end in the country. And he might be the tight end who is most integral to his quarterback. He makes Dante Moore a better quarterback. He makes those wide receivers outside. When you can get him, especially in the red zone, Sadiq's route trees in the red zone are as deep as any tight end in the country. He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's really good. Opinions are what make college football great, but please use the metrics. Oregon has a better strength of record, strength of schedule over Notre Dame. The Boston Red Sox.
The strength of this is why I'm not so hard on strength of record and stats alone. Yes, they matter. Yes, they are what we're supposed to go off of. No, we don't go off of them. Right? I mean, we all agree on that, right? Just objectively, it's not the only thing any of us go off of. Like, no. Even the committee. So like, again, I agree that it's a bad matchup for Oregon. If Oregon were to draw Notre Dame, that's a bad matchup. There's no question about it. They're not great against the run, against a team that runs the ball the way Notre Dame runs the ball, I should say. Like, Oregon is a team that wants to play on the edge. They don't want to play between the tackles. That's not their strength. Their strength is outside, nickel and dime packages. Like, they're a smaller team. They are. But I also wonder, if you look at Notre Dame and you look at Marcus Freeman, like, what does that team look like in a playoff game? We've seen mistakes in the past. They haven't paid for those yet, right?
Ooh.
Obviously. Yes.
Marcus sending me a text, our TV guy, Marcus. We just got word that Penn State and Matt Campbell are deep in negotiations. Penn State hopes to wrap it up tonight. Take it for what it's worth.
Oh, dude, finally. Finally.
I think if Penn State hires Matt Campbell, that could put a lot of this to bed. If Penn State hires Matt Campbell, that could be a big deal. And I am very interested to see how that plays out. Because
it's the right move, dude. It's the right move. It's what they should do. He's reliable. His reputation's not in question. Like, at this stage in the game, who else are you going to go with? Like, it is very much a best of the rest conversation. Is it not, Penn State fan? Is it not, hey, you haven't landed anybody or their sister or their brother, so now you're looking at Matt Campbell? Is that not what we're doing here? That's what we're doing here, right? Like, I mean, what choice do you have? It's what you have to do. And I would be happy with it. Like, he's not a bad coach.
No, I think it's a massive hire. I think it is a massive hire. If Penn State is able to get Matt Campbell to be their next head coach, this is a home run hire for Penn State. And I think that it is, this is one you got to close now. This is one you got to close. And you really have to find a way, if you're Penn State, to put this to bed tonight. I think it's incredibly important because with the portal coming and as much talent is rumored to be getting in the portal at Penn State, you need a guy who's won a lot of games, and Matt Campbell's won a lot of games. And if you can retain as much talent as possible, and if you can go, and we'll see what they need and what he decides they need. And I think it's just as important at Penn State to push guys into the portal at the bottom of the roster, keep guys out of the portal on the top 50% of your roster, and then go find some dynamic dudes at skill positions, because you're going to lose. I think you're going to lose a bunch of James Franklin's guys. So that would be huge. That would be huge if you were able to get him. We were talking about this earlier. Billy Napier to JMU's done. Monty said Matt Campbell or death of Penn State program, and they chose Monty's endorsement. Yeah, I believe they did.
State.
Obviously, they listened to the show.
Obviously.
He might not be the only available option, but I think he is the best option by far. Exactly right. Exactly right. The real awkward guy. Can we wait for James to confirm the news? He's the only source I trust. Yeah, James, can you call your sideline reporter friend?
Yeah, I mean, you have a sideline reporter guy on every sideline, right? I mean, don't you have a Penn State contact, right? Or no?
Did you guys see that Oak State paid their new coach $3.8 million a year? BYU's paying Kalani 9. You're paying your guy 3.8. That's interesting. That's interesting. I think it's going to be really interesting to see. Is Matt Campbell a good fit at Penn State?
Well, what would you say is a good fit? Like, does he feel like not a good fit because he's too small, like name wise? Is that our concern? I mean, like, who has more name recognition? Not who's a better head coach, but more name recognition, Matt Rule or Matt Campbell? Well, Matt Rule.
Well, in that neck of the woods, Matt Rule.
Yeah. But like,
I think there's no question about that, but
I just think you don't have another choice. Honestly, like, I'm not even trying to be a red ass here. I'm not even making all the knuckle deep, locker room car wash stuff jokes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being honest. Like, who else were you going to go and get? I mean, I'd rather have Matt Campbell than Manny Diaz, with all due respect to Manny. I think Matt Campbell's done a hell of a lot more than Manny Diaz. I think that Penn State needs reliability. I think Penn State needs, I think Penn State needs someone who's motivated too. Like, if you're Matt Campbell, does it not motivate you that you can actually go and win a national championship out of the Big Ten at Penn State? I mean, James Franklin showed you that. So, yeah, I get it. It's not like the sexiest name, but it is a name. Like, we agree that this dude is a name for sure.
Well, and he's from Ohio and he played at Pitt. So I would think that helps. I mean, Matt Campbell, obviously, with ties to Bowling Green, Toledo, like, I mean, he's got name recognition in that neck of the woods. He's a guy that's won 100 games as a head coach, which is not anything to kick rocks at. He's making good money. He's making $5 million. I think he's making $5 million a year at Iowa State. So that's good. I mean, he's the 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. He's won 2 Big 12 regular season championships. I mean, he's a really good hire.
Yes.
If they're able to close that out, if Matt Campbell,
what do you think they pay him? Because I think that's going to be the other talking point here because it's Matt Campbell. I mean,
you're going to have to pay him more than you want to. I think that's very clear. So you're probably somewhere between 8 and 10. I mean, he doesn't have the resume that Kalani's got now, because you look at these last 2 years, and I said this the other day, but you look at these last 2 years, Kalani's gotten an extension he's gotten 4 straight extensions, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you look at all the games that he's won the last 2 years. I mean, that's a big deal. Matt Campbell making $4 million or $5 million a year at Iowa State. If Matt Campbell goes to Penn State, I'd expect it to be $7 to $9 million. Because why are you going to leave Ames? Sub 10.
Yeah,
for sure, sub 10. But why are you going to leave Ames if it's not a big pay raise? Why would you take the job?
Agreed.
Right, because it's a big job. I think you are going to have to reload significantly. You're going to lose. Matt Campbell's is not everybody's flavor of gelato, right? Like, I mean, he's somebody that you is an acquired taste. He is certainly understated, but that dude knows how to coach defense. And it'll be interesting to see what that staff would look like. But our sources are saying that Penn State is in negotiation with Matt Campbell. And my question is, does this mean they got on a plane and had like a nod and shake and I'll get back to you? Or is Matt Campbell, who's done coaching for the regular season now, is Matt Campbell going to go and fly back to Penn State and actually get a deal put to paper? Because that's what they need to do. They need to, and I don't know where it's at. Obviously, I don't have a lot of details on it, but if they're in Ames, they need to leave. They need to not leave without Matt Campbell.
Agreed.
Right, because they're going to go play in a bowl. They're whether they win 8 games, 8-4 this year, 5-4 in conference. Right, middle of the table. You need to lock him up. You absolutely need to lock him up. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see, right? Because you look at, he's a good recruiter, that much. There's no question about that. He's a good recruiter. He puts guys in the NFL. Like, this feels like a home run hire to me.
Yeah, the only thing not home run about it is just name recognition. I think people will criticize it because it's a Big 12 coach who, hasn't been a CFP guy. That's what people will say. I don't personally think it's a bad hire. I would agree with you. I think it's a solid hire. I think that he is
consistently one of or the best team in the league under Matt Campbell.
I agree. But if you're from Penn State perspective, though, if you're looking at guys you can hire and candidates, it would have been nice if you could have got a guy who had CFP pedigree, right? I mean, we can't factually say that Matt Campbell has CFP pedigree. You can't say that because he hasn't been there yet. But at the same time, I agree. He's competed at the top of the Big 12 pretty regularly. So, I would be curious. I hope that someone asks Matt Campbell how he feels now having a war chest at his disposal versus what he had to work with at Iowa State.
And I think that's a big one. I think when you look at where they are, and where you look at, I mean, his class at Iowa State, I was looking at his class this morning at Iowa State. It is what it usually is. I mean, he's not going to have 5-star recruits there, but he's got a mess of 4- and 3-star guys. And where is he really good? Offensive line, defensive line.
Yes.
And that's his style, right? Like, and just looking at his numbers, K7's the quarterback. That's a kid from Texas that's going to Ames, Iowa. Right, that's a big one. Big arm, quick release, right? Accurate passer.
Yep.
Had seven P4 offers, like 2,500 yards a season for the last 4 seasons. Do some math. That's 10,000 yards, right? Like, so the guy can recruit. Now, at Iowa State, what is that class? I guess they're 59th in the country. At Penn State, you're going to want to be top 10. So, I think. But see, this is a ridiculous take. Like, John Gruden's a terrible hire right now. John Gruden, if USF had hired John Gruden, if Memphis had hired John Gruden, if a G5 had hired John Gruden, sure.
Cool.
Penn State's not hiring John Gruden. Do you know the risk that is involved in that?
You know how bad that makes Penn State look?
You know,
with everything that's gone on, you're not hiring John Gruden, dude.
You know, I think the thing that's really interesting is Matt Campbell is not going to have to give players NIL pay cuts anymore. If he, in fact, winds up pen to paper at Penn State, he's not going to have to pay guys less money anymore.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you look at, like, this Cody Campbell thing today. Did you guys see this Cody Campbell interview on Pat's show today? This is wild to me.
I was just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. But what we're looking at is a solution that we're talking over 10 or 12 years. We reform the way that we market our media rights, the way that we generate revenue. You know, the NFL is a great example, but the NBA is an even better one. College football has twice as many viewers as the NBA does, but college football makes half as much money as the NBA does. And that is all just because of what's called the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 and the rights that professional sports have that college sports don't have. That's part of it. It's also because we don't have a central governing body that coordinates scheduling and makes sure that we maximize viewership and that we have games on at the right times when people want to watch them and we don't cannibalize our viewership. I mean, there are weeks, you know, on game day where there are 10 games that you guys probably should be at, right? And then there are weeks where you're like, where are we going to go this week? There's no good game. I mean, those are the types of things that we need to fix, right? And there should be no reason that you have a marquee matchup in the Big Ten competing with another marquee matchup in the Big Ten on different networks at the same time. And that's just bad business, right? And so if we could just fix those problems and run the thing like a business like the NFL has done very effectively, we can increase revenue massively. And that's just common business sense.
So why hasn't it been done yet then, huh? Like,
it's very interesting. And I think that you look at all these coaching changes and hires and this Penn State disaster, and then you listen to Cody Campbell talk about an NFL model. Where'd you hear that first? Anyway, the point is,
yeah, I mean, I don't think that the ledger runs out of paper at this point for all the things we have right this week.
It's been a good week on the show. Terrible week everywhere else. Good week on the show. I think it's wild to me that we're still in a position where we don't have an end here. Tony Petitti's getting called out by Congress as a dickhead. And we get Cody Campbell talking about we got to have an NFL TV deal because I'm tired of playing BYU at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's essentially what he said. You understand that, right? Like, how do we have games in the wrong time conflicting against each other? He's exactly right. That does not happen when you have a streamlined TV deal, right? Like, this is the stuff that is just crazy to me, that we keep running into this stuff. You know, like, Cody Campbell's not going to be able to save college football. Congress has to do that. Agreed. And maybe that's why Diego Pavia, hey baby, maybe that's why Diego Pavia is begging Donald Trump for an executive order. Why don't you sign that in front of his mom, Donnie?
It's like an act of Congress.
But, you know, I just think the SCORE Act is never going to happen.
And I think Cody Campbell wants to live in fairyland, dude. And I get burned out on the, oh man, we got to do all this stuff. Great, then get it done. If it's so easy
Cody
to fix.
Campbell does talk with delusions of grandeur. I think you're exactly right. Yes.
Like, dude, sometimes I just want to say, like, shut up and fund Texas Tech. Focus on Texas Tech.
But see, I'm not there. I think Cody Campbell's a really powerful voice because he's got that bread. He's got that oil money. He's a really important figure. I'm tired of the talk and there's no action behind it.
But
It's
honestly,
cool.
how many people have money that don't talk? I mean, does this guy really have, if you compare him to other heavyweights, if you compare him to other donors, the only reason that anyone thinks Cody Campbell is special is because he talks. That's it.
No,
Like,
because he's paying softball players $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, he's special because he did change things in Lubbock. He's special because he has made a difference. So there's no question about that. The problem is he's made a difference in Lubbock, Texas. Has what's gone down at Texas Tech changed culture in the Big 12? It has not.
No.
Is what they're doing in Provo changing culture in the Big 12? No, it's not. Because TCU sucks. Baylor sucks. Oak State's an abject failure and an embarrassment. K-State's an embarrassment. Kansas is not good. Who's running this league? Colorado is losing money. Arizona State, BYU, Utah. Those are some of the best programs in football right now. Houston's the best program in basketball right now. The new blood is what's propping this league up. And that includes Cody Campbell, who's new blood in this league, who's a different way of doing business. And he probably hates it, but what's he got different than the Mormon church? Nothing. They're spending money. They're retaining talent. He's spending money. He's retaining talent. That's how you win games. It's not rocket science.
Agreed.
The problem is Cody Campbell understands his money's not endless. And he's losing money because the rest of these idiots in the Big 12 won't do what's required. You let Dave Aranda keep his goddamn job. Does that not register with you in Koresh country? Does it not register with you in Fort Worth? Does it not register with you in Stillwater, in Manhattan? Do you know how lucky? Do you know how lucky you got that your coach retired allegedly at K-State?
Retired.
What's going to happen if my sources are right and Matt Campbell's taking the Penn State job tonight? What's going to happen in Ames? That's not the easiest job in the world to fill.
No. And
Not
all
on
this stuff
December
about
4th.
cutting players' pay because they want to be there on loyalty. Well, what are they loyal to now? Because it's not Iowa State. Like, that doesn't work anymore.
No.
Like, that's the problem. That doesn't work anymore. Now you have to be, hey, we're doubling, tripling down on our commitment to paying players and investing in this program, and we're going to go and get a big-time coach. Like, I hope so, bro. I hope so. Do I believe that's going to happen? Absolutely not. No, I don't. I will believe it when I see it. Honestly, I will believe it when I see it, because if Penn State's struggling to get someone, okay, who is Iowa State going to go and get? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Big
who are
question.
you going to go and get now?
Phenomenal Hebrew. There's no way Pat Kraft is doing another handshake deal. Well, he didn't do a handshake deal with Kalani. He hasn't learned anything from lying ass Halani Sataki. Kalani never agreed to take that job. Sorry. That never happened.
Yeah.
You came to Provo. You had meetings. And Kalani said, I need time to sit with this. And I can almost tell you exactly how it went. And I've said this on the show, and everybody's backed me up on it. We want you to be our head coach. We're offering you $10 million a year, and we're offering you $11 million for your staff. $21 million coaching compensation package. Do you accept? Kalani said, I need to sit with it. I need to get some advice. I need to pray about it. I'll let you know. And Chaboy got back on his jet and took off. Kalani Sitake at no time ever went to Penn State. And then Kalani Sitake went and talked to Lavelle Edwards' wife. He called Kyle Whittingham. He called all his guys. Called all of his guys.
Crumble cookie guy, allegedly.
No.
Come on.
Called all of his guys. And then sat down and had a meeting with his athletic director where they hammered out some issues. Wound up staying at BYU. Never, ever, not one time did he take that job or agree to take that job. Is what it is. Lions versus Cowboys. Hey, boy. I'm taking the Cowboys tonight. I'm riding with Jarrah. Riding with Jarrah. Let's see. Original Sammy Sam. Big 12 plus ACC need to create their own playoff. Why would you do that?
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person?
Champy. Appreciate the $5, bud. Most underrated quarterback is easily Noah Fafita. Gatos locos forever, Holmes.
Yeah, what he
Bear
said.
Down. I love Noah. I call them the Fighting Fafitas. You know. Did we read this? King of Thailand, a member for 21 months.
Oh, okay. Just out of nowhere here. There you go. Nice, nice.
King of Thailand, mother. You know. Michigan cheating again in sideline communication gate because they can. That's exactly right. Did you hear that?
Didn't work, did it?
Bunch of assholes. I think that's hysterical. I'm sure he said more than that to lead Pat Kraft. I think he's taking the job. Pat Kraft never thought he was taking the job.
Man, you are so bitter.
We have gotten every detail pretty much on the Kalani Sitake thing right because we have people. Kalani Sitake is a man of his word. There is no greater asset than his soul. And his soul is full of integrity. Kalani never took that job. Look at that. Lopes fan Gabe. Stand or lean after you finish bearing down, though? That's a great question. Well, you guys want to laugh at me for a minute? So I moved into this new highfalutin condo, you know? The toilet needs a bigger downpipe. Because I'm tired of using a plunger, man. Every time. Every time. Every time. Matt Campbell going to pull a Kalani and leverage Penn State to get better money at Iowa State. No, I think Matt's ready to move. This has been talked about for the better part of this season, that Matt Campbell was going to be a candidate for a lot of these jobs.
So if Matt Campbell gets this job, does that put the Jimmy Sexton conspiracy to bed? That no sitting head coach takes this job or interviews?
Well, but I also think that Matt Campbell is a different cat. And I think, one, Matt Campbell's not your average dude. He's not a Jimmy Sexton client. But the reason Matt Campbell didn't get this job earlier, in my opinion, is because he told Penn State, I want to talk to you, but it's not going to happen during the season. And I respect him for it. The season's over now, right? And this is the Lamar Jackson. When you don't have an agent, and I'm pretty sure Matt Campbell doesn't have an agent, it's tough. Zempic Dookies clogging the plumbing there, Morty?
Yeah, something like that, right? You know.
You guys are getting crazy. I take Zepbound, as Gabe is referring to. I had 10 days where I gained like 3 pounds. Got back to Seattle. Drank a bunch of water. And I spent the first 4 days this week pissing off weight. Just every 5 minutes. And this week alone, I have lost 6 pounds. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's amazing how that works.
The real awkward guy. Hey, Monty, speaking of Dookies, how is the dog? He's over here licking himself. Literally, I look over. I haven't looked over in 2-3 hours. This dude's full eagle, man, like going to town on his hot dog. Come here. You want to get on? Come here. Django.
Hiscock.
I say come here and you walk out of the studio?
I need a dick.
Come here. Come. Hey.
Hey. Jig.
Bone licker. Django.
Here I am.
Come here. Come here. He won't do this.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
Come here. Up. Come here. Up. Up. Come. Come. Where are you going? Okay. Now he don't want this.
Nah.
Come here, dude. Buddy. Django. Brah. Come here. Everybody wants to come. Come here. Everybody wants to see you. Oh, I'm sorry. There he is. No, you throw up. Don't lick my face, butthole. How you doing, dude? You gonna say hi to the people? Want to sniff the microphone?
What's up, dude?
So, dude. You feeling better? He's doing fine, you guys.
Here I am.
I fed him 3 small meals today. I made him new white rice. He's a good boy. What are you staring at? See, you guys wonder.
You know what he's staring at.
Look at how on alert this dude is. What's he staring at?
The Monty Ghost.
Stop with that.
Family.
What are you looking at?
Dude, he is looking at something.
Yeah, he is locked on.
Bro is locked.
What are you doing, bud? You all right? My guy. I love you. Don't hang yourself on my headphones. There you go. Yeah, he's locked on something. I don't know. Now he's growling. You got whatever. Dogs can see ghosts and spirits. Thank you for that. Thank you. Marcus said very close. Matt Campbell might be the next head coach at Penn State. Speaking of dude, did you see the drunk liquor store raccoon? I did. Is he camera shy? No, he's locked on something. Now he's laying in his bed blowing himself again. It's fine. Has the ghost girlfriend made an appearance yet? No. Is BDM outside the door? No, where's BDM been? He hasn't even been messaging me.
Timothy.
Oh, he did message me. Timothy.
Beloved.
Oh, listen to this, you guys. Listen to this. I've purchased a photo op with John Cena.
No, you have not. No,
dude, he sent me a receipt. You guys probably.
His name is John Cena.
He spent $190.64. Taxes included, it's $209.70. You need to buy me a shirt and have it rush delivered to me that says the Monty Show and fuck John Cena. I'm not buying you a shirt. Okay. Literally, you guys won't believe me. This is a true story. I had a box of 20 Monty Show t-shirts sitting around, handing them out to homeless people. We were like, what are we going to do with them? Handing them out to homeless people. What are you looking at, bud? Should I go check the front door? Let me go. He's like,
go check. I mean, it's weird that he's just
standing up.
Because the studio there kind of looks out into the hallway there.
Yeah.
And the door is kind of to the right. Like he can't see the door just looking into the hallway. That's what's kind of weird is like you look out the hall, like the door there, and the front door's off to the right, and then everything else is to the left. But like he's not, there shouldn't be anything there. That's the thing. Like, how do you know that won't be a John Cena double? It's a fair question, dude. Body double? I mean, Yeah, well, we tried to do merch. It's very expensive. It's very clunky. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So don't have a great hookup there. Sending them as contest gifts to the members. Yeah, I mean, I suppose we could, but they were older ones too, though. They had been sitting in storage for probably 2-3 years now. So, Penn State AD is there to offer Monty the coaching job. I'm sure that's what it is, dude.
Doesn't make you feel
Yeah, I'm sure that Penn State is thrilled to offer Monty the job after all the knuckle deep jokes. Locked on Big Ghost Conference. Yeah, exactly, dude. I don't know what he's looking at. I don't know. And the fact that Monty is not already back tells you that there's something or something has happened. Honestly. Let's see. What else we got here? He has posted in here tonight. Who's posted in here tonight? Let's see. He is looking at the Locked On Big 12 podcast. Right.
Bro, we were close to Monty Show awesomeness.
What do you mean?
So
what
he
happened?
He was hearing the Mormon folks in the hallway talk to my neighbor.
Oh, damn. You mean the Christian folks?
Yeah, no, the non-Christians, according to everybody who thinks the Mormons aren't
clear on that?
My bad.
You guys understand, I'm not LDS. I am not religious at all. The LDS church is the church of
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I live in a condo tower, and they were out talking to my neighbor. And I was like, hey, why don't you guys come on the show? We have a big BYU and Utah following. Oh, I'm from American Fork. They would not come into they would not come in the condo, and they would not come on the show.
They're probably instructed not to enter people's homes.
I would assume so. That was almost amazing. No, Maury, I wish I was. Good to see you, Maury. I'm hoping Iowa State doesn't lose their coach. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, let's do a quick Twitter check here. I mean, our boy is saying that it's close.
Yeah, I haven't looked at Twitter. I don't have Twitter logged in. Let me see.
Lane Kiffin's going to be on game day this week. Okay.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
yeah, I don't see anything about.
Yes, on 3. 39 minutes ago, or no, 9 minutes ago, Penn State has shifted their focus of its coaching search to Iowa State's Matt Campbell. Pete Nakos, who I know watches this show, by the way. The two parties have been in communication for the last 24 hours. Boom! See, I talk about it, and everybody else runs with it.
Yeah, Pete Nakos hasn't tweeted anything about Matt Campbell, so they're just giving him
blind credit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I don't how do I say this? I don't dislike On 3, and I'm probably paranoid about it. They steal our stuff all the time. Like, I mean, consistently, I'll say something, I'll tweet something, and like 20 minutes later, they'll post it as their own. Perfect fit. Campbell has done plenty for Iowa State. Totally agree, Pax. So how you doing, buddy? You okay over there? You guys aren't getting in.
No.
So currently 41% betting odds to take the job. Oh, no kidding. Had a friend who had a dog called Satan. 2 young Mormon missionaries came to the house and was knocking on the door. Guy's mom was yelling, "Get back, Satan," so she could answer the door.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
The Church of the Wood Idol. Okay. I don't know what that's a reference to. Apparently, Campbell is one on the jet shaking hands while Pat is in the PA and Campbell is still in the air. Be nice. Cheese It, Monty. Yeah, you guys are going to the Cheese It Bowl, huh? Most recent coaching news: Napier to JMU, Georgia Tech OC, Buster to UF, Baker to Tulane. Yeah. Fight on Natty's on 3 only steals your SEC nonsense, Morty.
Right.
Which is fine. Listen, I understand why people do what they do. Big Daddy Magic. Timothy, are you your stuff all the time when I'm talking to people? You better not have a problem, pal. Hey, why should I buy you a shirt? Why am I sending you a shirt? Are you gonna, like, what are you gonna do? So he bought a photo op with John Cena. So tell us why we should be into this photo op thing. Why, what is the machinations?
Yeah, I couldn't
tell me
you
why we should be into that. One, it's John Cena. Do we like John Cena?
I guess. I'm kind of indifferent.
I sell Monty info to On 3 and an Oak State sideline reporter. Both pay well. There you go. Oak State James never change. BDM, couldn't Kaiser Soza his way into the photo op, losing his touch? Need to smoke more weed. I think you do. Gabe. Come on, let's wrap this up, Tulane. Go get Baker. I wonder what Tulane's... there's some interesting stuff on. Do you like that John Summerall's being allowed to coach that team?
I do. Yes.
So why can't Lane coach Ole Miss? I'm kidding.
Because Ole Miss is childish in the way they go about it, even though they had a backup coach lined up.
And he was going to steal all their recruits, which you can't allow. Ain't he
going to steal them all anyway?
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, do you guys think Michigan's going to lose Bryce Underwood? Do you? Because now there is some. I think there's some smoke to that. Yeah,
I just think that so didn't they fire their special teams coordinator or late last week, early this week, and there's all that smoke around Sharon. I just don't think for Underwood it's a good situation. I mean, at some point you got to get to a place where you're going to get developed and you're going to be in a good spot, and you can become a better quarterback, and that's just not Michigan at all. That's not where you need to be right now.
I would agree with that. I think I think he's better off going to a new program. I think he's better off going to a new program. I could be wrong.
Program.
But,
yeah.
I don't. And just texting with people believe it's done. That Matt Campbell's unofficially the new head coach at Penn State. Okay. Husker Magic. Tom Brady won't stand for Bryce leaving UM. I think there's some people who are tired of Bryce Underwood. Bryce wants to play the way he wants to play, and he doesn't want to listen to Sharon Moore. And there's some friction there, allegedly. Let's see. We universally hate John Cena. I don't hate John Cena. I like John Cena. What do you mean? Where would he go, though? I think a number of universities. If Bryce Underwood were to portal, he needs to go to Lane Kiffin, Lincoln Riley. Like, you need to go somewhere where they make quarterbacks. You need to go somewhere where they throw the football and they can build an offense around you. And you're going, because he's got 2 seasons left to be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
Yep. And there's got to be significant growth. Yeah,
I think he's got the talent. He needs to go to Sark. He needs to go somewhere where they make quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. Got a quick pick for Dallas, Detroit tonight. Yeah, I'm taking Dallas. The number on that game's 3.5 for Detroit. It's in Detroit. Prime Video coming up here in about 20 minutes. I love Detroit in this game. Or I love Dallas in this game. Do you guys think Dak can win the MVP? I think it's going to be tough. I think he can if he balls out tonight. Tonight's his last shot. I agree. Dan Orlovsky was on, might have been Pat McAfee today. Yes, I watched Pat's show today. I'm burned out. I've been watching a lot of Colin. He sucks. Holy shit, Cowherd is bad.
Yeah.
Like, he just gets so much wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So much wrong. So much wrong.
Yeah, because it's just hey, my producers are giving me stories to talk about, and I'm just going to show up and enjoy the salary. I mean, that's what it is.
Oof. So there's that. I think this is Dak's last best shot because he is the best quarterback in the NFL right now, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's playing that well. I think you're seeing, oh boy.
What?
The U.S. has blown up another boat.
Excellent.
Anyway, I think Dak Prescott is playing. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And you're watching this run where you're going to look at the games that killed them. Giving up 44 to the Broncos in a game where Dak did not play well. That's going to crush them. That's one of the games that I think you're going to look back on and be like, damn. I think that loss to Arizona that's the Jacoby Brissett game.
Mm-hmm.
Dak was good in that game. They could not stop the run at all in any way, shape, or form. It was brutal. And I think that those two losses back to back, that's what's going to kill you.
Yeah.
That's what's going to kill you, in my opinion. And so I think on national TV with the entirety of the spotlight, Dak Prescott has to have a 325-yard game.
Yeah, you got to cook.
Have to have it. I only watch Cowherd when Klatt comes on. I've never seen Joel Klatt on that show, and everybody says that. You know why? Because I fucking run out of patience with Colin. I'll be honest with you. He's got so many things that are just not true. You know why I turned it off today? I turned it off a couple of weeks ago. He pronounced Caleb Williams dead in like September. He said he's a bust. He's one of the worst draft picks. We're going to see it now. He's got a great coach. And now the Bears have gone on this run, and he's like, Caleb Williams is the best second-year quarterback in the NFL now. And it's like, dude, shut up. You said he was dead and a bust.
Yep.
Right?
You put him in a coffin, and now he's not.
So I go through these stretches where there's no good sports talk because I can't do Pat McAfee anymore. I really struggle with it. Jake, you're out altogether, right? Like you never watched his show.
I haven't listened in over a year. Probably.
I watched today because Orlovsky tweeted he was going to be on, and it's okay. Pat just, you know what I noticed about Pat? Pat doesn't talk sports. He does interviews. All the other guys talk sports. Pat does not talk sports anymore. It's very strange to me. You know, got a take on Vandy athletics. Always a baseball power. Last 2 years, football on the rise. Now basketball. Well, I mean, I think when you want to talk about getting a rise, you just need to put Diego Pavia's mom on the screen. And I think she's cute, dude. She's not as hot as my wife, but you know, who am I, Oak State James? You know. I think Vandy's getting exactly what you deserve when you start investing in people. That's what I think it is. I used to be a big pardon the interruption fan, but they are getting political now. And yeah, different show. Jake is out on Pat like Portnoy's out on Underwood. Exactly. The real awkward guy. Have you tried watching the Monty Show? No, they're too political.
Yeah, well, and they're BYU fans, so it's just kind of
Big Daddy Magic. I support Josh Allen for MVP.
I'm sure you do, brother.
You know, Megatron in the house, badass wide receiver back then. Yes, he is. Totally agree. I stopped watching Cow Chips years ago. Yeah. Monty, could this destroy Iowa State football? Depends on how they react. It's going to be really hard to find a coach to replace Matt Campbell. It's going to be very, 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 very difficult to find a coach to replace Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
because our sources are telling us that they're negotiating with him, and Penn State's almost got it done. So if that is in fact the case, you're in trouble. Hey, look at that. JJ McCarthy's going to play this week.
Oh, man. Wow. Good to see they're going to lose again.
Tough week to be a Vikings fan.
Yeah,
Great week to be a
seriously.
Bears fan. Hey, we've got the Packers this week.
Big game.
So,
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. So, all right. Do you want to do soup season, Jake, or should we just end the show?
Nah, I think we're good. We can do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit or Dallas tonight?
Dallas all day. Playing well. Ride the wave. No reason. I don't know. Is Lamb going to catch the ball?
Could be. Indiana or Ohio State?
Ohio State. Indiana covers.
BYU or Texas Tech? I mean, Georgia or Alabama?
Bama. Roll Tide, man. Bama.
Diego Pavia's hot mom in a cowboy hat or without the cowboy hat? You like her with let me ask you this. You like her with a cowboy hat or with balls in her hand?
I like her with some pants on in the stands rooting for her kid.
You hate her so much. And it's so irrational. It's so irrational. And admit it, it is what it is. Anyway. All right. The Monty Show, as always, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. 24/7, 365. And you guys listen, this time of year, everything's hectic. The Advocates remind you, when you're in the car, shut out those distractions. Put the phone down. Pay close attention. A lot more kids on the road. A lot more people at the mall. A lot more people out and about. Slow down. Be careful. If the worst happens, get clear, risk-free advice 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And it won't cost you a dime. You never reach into your pocket to pay the Advocates because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Until tomorrow. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.